Qualified technician will provide a thorough inspection of the electrical system to ensure it's safe or alert you to potential problems. At Gabroods, electrical work is all we do. We are the area's recognized experts for anything electrical, and our number one priority is ensuring your home and family are safe. You've been saying you'll pay better attention to your home. Stop saying it. Make the call to Gabroods. Talk with a real person and schedule your 12-point inspection today. Gabroods, locally owned for more than 30 years. Gubroods.
Call the good dudes at Gabroods. Gubroods. Gabroods.com.
If you need a new set of top brand tires, Downtown Ford Sacramento has great news. For a limited time, we'll beat any competitor's price on a set of 4 tires. Then, kick you down a mail-in rebate of up to $150, and that includes major brands like Michelin, BF Goodrich, Uniroyal, Hankook, and more. Some restrictions apply. Visit downtownfordsacramento.com for details. Downtown Ford Sacramento on Howe Avenue. Online at downtownfordsacramento.com.
Listen up, guys. Are you experiencing any of the following? Fatigue, less drive, poor performance? If so, you may be one of the nearly 30 million men in the U.S. today dealing with ED. But did you know you don't have to pay hundreds for a prescription anymore? And you don't have to deal with the hassle of seeing the doctor or the embarrassment of going to the pharmacy for a certain pill. Now, with one free call, you can find out how Herbal Virility Max can help you feel like a man again. For over a decade, Herbal Virility Max has helped guys just like you put a smile back on their face with improved performance and drive. Call today and ask about our buy one, get one free offer.
800-690-8445. 800-690-8445. 800-690-8445. That's 800-690-8445.
Brad Gazan, on Atlanta United, we know everyone has a ritual, a habit we never skip, to clear our minds and elevate our performance. But what do you do to keep your head in the game? Because being your best isn't just about taking care of your body. It's about taking care of your mind and mental health. Discover the resources you need to keep your mind focused and your mental health a priority.
Find resources at georgia.loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute, the Arthur M. Blank Family Foundation, and the Ad Council.
Tell your friends. Grant's back. Grant Napear is back on the Sacramento airwaves right here. KSAC 890 AM Olivehurst. K284CM 104.7 FM Sacramento. Hello. Hello, Sacramento. Sacktown. And welcome in.
Grant Napear.
How you been? You know this guy.
It's your show.
So happy to hear you on the airwaves.
Time to begin. 2+ decades on the radio with you.
Just the start of an incredible journey.
Now he's back on Fox Sports 104.7 FM and 890 AM.
3 to 6 every day, Fox Sports Sacramento.
The phone number?
916-779-0929.
His name? Grant Napear.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody. The next football game is in August. I'm talking about college football. I'm not talking about the Hall of Fame game or preseason NFL games. I'm talking about a game that counts. And the NFL season, as we speak here on February 9th, not until September. Chew on that for a little bit. Digest that. Unless you are a fan of the Seattle Seahawks, and congratulations if you are, yesterday's game was horrible. I mean, it was just awful. Boring. And I love defensive football, don't get me wrong. But the game had no flow to it. And you kind of got the impression as you were watching the game that New England was going to have a very difficult time scoring, as the Seahawks defense was masterful. It was an incredible job by the entire coaching staff. But if you're not a fan of the Seahawks, that game was really hard to watch. Very hard to watch. And don't even ask me about the halftime, because I didn't watch the halftime. I was outside talking with my friends. So I know a lot of people probably want to talk to me about the halftime performance. I'm not the guy to talk to because I did not see it. as, again, I was outside. I did see about 30 seconds through a sliding glass door in the TV, but I'm not the right guy to talk about. I can talk about the game. I can talk about what happened and what didn't happen. I can talk about whatever else you want, but I did not watch the halftime show. For a while, it looked like there would be no touchdowns. And I don't know about you, but I love listening to Kevin Harlan do big games. Here's Harlan on the call of Darnold's touchdown.
16, Seattle 1st and 10, leading 12-0. Darnold under center. 5 on the defensive line. He gets the snap, turns right, fakes the handoff. Here comes the blitz. There goes the throw, end zone. Caught, touchdown! Caught, touchdown, Barner. The tight end over the shoulder catch in the corner of the end zone. And we've got our first touchdown of Super Bowl 60. And the Seahawks extend their lead early in the fourth, 18-0.
Yeah, the game's over at that point. And again, you don't really go that long in any NFL game without a touchdown. And I've always said that one of the best games that I've ever seen in my life was a final score of 7-3. The Giants and the 49ers at the stick in the late 80s. So I love defensive football. I really do. I did not love yesterday's game. I just did not. I thought it was very boring. If you're a Seahawks fan, I know exactly how you felt because I've been there, and I'm happy for you. But it was not exactly the best of games on the biggest stage. Mike McDonald, the head coach of the Seattle Seahawks, obviously had a lot of sound after the game, but I really liked what he had to say earlier today before the team left to fly back to Seattle.
I told the team on Saturday night, I got a bad habit of, him and Han into my office and with the rest of our coaching staff thinking about, plays and what we're going to run and how it's going to go. And then you get around the guys and you see them and all of a sudden all those worries don't kind of go away magically. And I think that speaks to how they played. They just just became very clear very early that they were a determined bunch that we were going to play our style ball last night. And at that point, really, the plays became irrelevant. It was really the style of how the guys played. And just to play that relentlessly throughout the game was really impressive, and really proud of those guys. They played. That was a remarkable game by our defense.
It was a remarkable game. They dominated. It was a suffocating defense. I mean, not only were you able to take the run away, you were able to take the pass away. The pressure on Drake May, obviously they had him flustered, but the Seahawks defense did not allow any rhythm from the Patriots offense. None at all. And I think, listen, when you look at this year in the National Football League, and if you really want to talk about the last 2 years, I think maybe the biggest story has been the perseverance of Sam Darnold, who was taken 3rd overall in the draft, as we know, by the Jets, and had to go from team to team to team. And then the Minnesota Vikings, after a 14-win season and a loss on the road to the Rams in the playoffs, decided to move on from Darnold. And he ends up in Seattle, and he now doesn't have any more demons on him. Can't do this, can't do that, can't beat the Rams, can't win the big game, right? He now has a Super Bowl trophy. He has a team that is still really good for the future, and somebody that clearly has elevated himself now into a top tier of NFL quarterbacks. It was interesting to hear after the game, the general manager of the Seahawks, John Schneider, put a wrap on it.
Again, the resilience, the leader, we had those 2 games last year that everybody kept talking about, and I mean, you could pick any game apart, really, and, God helps those who can't help themselves, and Sam came into our world at the right time, and he's just obviously he's the 3rd pick of the draft. You know what I mean? The guy's got talent, and so in my opinion, we all need to be more patient with quarterbacks. And we used to have NFL Europe, and the Kurt Warners and the I go on Brad Johnson, all these guys, Mark Bolger, you go on and on and on. And we don't really do that anymore. And man, those guys have a hard. Those guys, you guys know. I mean, it's a hard gig. I mean, I sit in some of those meetings. I'm like, what are you guys talking about? You know?
Exactly, right?
It's like a different language.
Yeah, John Snyder, the GM of the Seahawks. 916-779-0929. We'll get your feedback on what happened yesterday, and we start with Al. What's up, Big Al?
Hello, Mr. Van Napier. Thank you for your advice Friday. I could only watch 3 minutes of that halftime because I knew nothing about this guy. My wife left entirely, went out and did gardening. I went and I rewatched the play of the waste management golf thing. It was disgusting. So thank you very much. That was very wise. No waste of time. The game. So my son immediately says he was so happy because, you know, he's a Sam Darnold. I like the guy. He says, oh, he's the best, right, Dad, out of USC? I said, oh, no. No, son. He's a great USC, but the greatest USC quarterback, higher than even him, was, of course, the great Carson Palmer, picked number 1 overall, and had an unbelievable NFL career.
No, I disagree with you. Carson Palmer did not have an unbelievable NFL career. Carson Palmer, to me, particularly in big games and in the month of January, proved to me that you're never going to win with Carson Palmer. And I used to say that every year when he played in the NFL. So we have a disagreement on that, but go ahead.
Yeah, we have a disagreement. I'm saying relational to Sam Darnold. You know, again, Palmer never should have been the first guy picked. If you study his history,
Correct.
If you have, Grant,
Correct.
All right. He only had one great year, his senior year.
Correct.
That's what elevated him. Darnold was much better at USC.
No question.
I will grant you that, Mr. Grant Napier. No question. Yeah, no question. But I liked Palmer. He did a lot. And, of course, and Grant, come on, we well know. It's a team game. I mean, you got to have a lot. And I was so happy for Walker. He is, I loved the guy when I was watching Michigan State, the way he ran stuff. He was clearly a difference maker.
He was a difference maker in the playoffs, period. He was a difference maker in every game in the playoffs. And then when he became the primary back, you know, they had a 2-back system with Charbonnet, right? And then when he got hurt, obviously, you know, Walker then becomes the number 1 guy, and he was fabulous. He was fabulous.
Yeah, he was, and he deserved it. So anyway, I'm very happy. Thank you very much for the time, and I have to be very careful. I am so happy. Let them Patriot fans just go right back into your snow, into Boston and everything, and get out of town. Just go.
Thank you for the call. You know, again, the reason why I said I didn't want to talk about the halftime show is I didn't see it. I read about it. Actually, I was outside with about 8 buddies, and one of them had an outside TV, and they had on the All-American halftime show. So I watched a lot more of that than I didn't watch any of the halftime show, so it's hard for me to comment when I didn't watch it. So that's why I said I really didn't want to get involved in the conversation because I didn't see it. 916-779-0929. One guy that is a Seahawks fan is my wingman, and that is Ryan in Sacktown. Congratulations, buddy. You've been how long have you been a Seahawks fan?
For probably about 15 years now.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Chargers and Seahawks have always been the two.
No, you only have one team. No,
okay.
You can't root for 2 teams.
Okay. Well, Seahawks.
Not allowed.
Seahawks has always been the team.
Especially when you used to be in the same division. Not allowed.
Thank you. Thank you for setting the rules here on this show.
No, it's not allowed. You can't do that. I mean, I'm disappointed to hear that. That's not allowed. It's not allowed.
All right. So, anyways, no, it was great. It was for Seahawks fans who watch Seahawks football year in and year out. That was a normal presentation of Seahawks football.
Yep.
When they have been successful, the formula was there. I thought early on that they were maybe asking a little too much of Sam Darnold and not featuring Walker enough because he was having success running the ball. But, look, they dominated defensively. They dominated special teams. Almost half of Dixon's punts were inside the 20. Jason Myers.
He was a difference maker.
Yep.
He changed field position. He was fabulous. He was really had a lot to do with the win, if you want to get right down to it.
Yeah, no doubt. They absolutely did. And that's why special teams so often is forgotten about. But when you're a team like the Seahawks that plays the style defensively that they do, it's just as important as offense. But long story short, I thought both defenses came out and were throwing haymakers right off the bat. And the difference for Seattle, to my eye, is, if you have somebody on your line offensively struggling, you can hedge, you can do whatever to help that person out. But Seattle mixed up the scheme so much that as soon as they thought one guy on the New England side was struggling, they went towards another, and New England just couldn't adjust. So a brilliant game by Mike McDonald. And quite frankly, Grant, sorry not to get off on this, John Schneider is about as close to Sam Presti in the NFL as you can get. And to see him rebuild that franchise in the same model as the original that won the first Super Bowl in Seattle, incredible stuff.
That's great. I'm really happy you said that, because it hasn't been that long since it was Pete Carroll and Marshawn Lynch and Russell Wilson. All right. It really has not been that long. And now look at the Seahawks. It's almost like it seems like that was ancient times ago.
Yeah, 12 years since they won their last championship. And look, he sold high on guys, and he was right. He featured young guys and let guys that he felt like he had evaluated. He knew what they were going to be. He let them go. And maybe some said it was a little bit too early, but that's how you get to a Jackson Smith and Jigba. But
look at DK Metcalf, just to name one.
Great example as well. So congratulations, 12s.
Yep.
Grant, that building was full of 12s. That was Lumen South all over again. Just a fun time. Now starting to, when you get that first chill down the back of your neck, it's like, okay, football withdrawals. It's hitting me. The adrenaline's wearing off of this win. Now we're without football for a while.
Yep. No, I'm with you. I'm really happy you mentioned special teams, because when I was at the Giants Washington Redskins game for the NFC Championship in 1987, it was a blustery, windy day, as it normally can be at the Meadowlands in December and January. And it was a low-scoring game, such as yesterday's Super Bowl. It was a defensive game where the Giants won 17-0, but the Giants had an all-pro punter by the name of Sean Landeta. And Sean maybe was as valuable as any player on the field that day because he knew how to punt and had the ability to punt both with the wind, but more importantly, into the wind. And he was able to change field position with punts that were not returnable. And if you go back and look at that game, a lot of the players that played in that game credit Landeta for being as important as any player on the field. So I'm happy you mentioned special teams, because we don't talk about it enough.
No, you don't. Michael Dixon, the punter, he has really changed punting in the NFL. He came into the league with some kicks that were not commonly in the tool bags of some punters, and he was one of the first Australian punters to come into the league, and now it's a lot of Australian punters. Now every punter has to have this certain type of punt in his game that Michael brought into the league. So just really cool stuff all around, just a really dominating performance and an enjoyable performance from a Seattle perspective.
Well, I will actually say special teams saved the season for Seattle.
Great point.
Had it not been for Rashid Shaheed's if it had not been for Shaheed's punt return when they were down 16 points to the Rams with 9 minutes left to go in the fourth quarter, Seattle wouldn't be in the Super Bowl. They would not have been the number one seed, and they would not have probably gotten this far. It just gave them all the momentum in the world. And I believe that when you look at the Seahawks from start to finish this year, in a lot of their games, it was, defense, yes, running game, yes, Darnold, yes, but their special teams was really good this year.
Yeah, look, it put the Niners away before the game had even really started.
That's right. Yep.
So, really, and you even look at Shaheed, how John Schneider went out to get him mid-season, very similar to how the Seahawks went after Percy Harvin, getting him from the Vikings to have that speed guy, that returner, the other guy you can go to down the field, because Darnold missed two clear throws that one would definitely been a touchdown, to Jackson Smith and Jigma, but he missed Shaheed a couple of times down the sidelines as well.
One other football note before we get to the break, and then we will come back and talk more NFL, and the Kings are in action tonight against the Pelicans. Choose love is the big message in the NFL, and it takes all of us, including the Atlanta Falcons rookie James Pierce Jr., who finished third in the Defensive Rookie of the Year voting in the recent NFL awards. Allegedly, I'm going to say allegedly, even though I watched the video, crashed his vehicle into one being driven by WNBA player Rickea Jackson, not once, but multiple times, and allegedly struck a police officer with the vehicle while evading arrest. A criminal complaint in the Miami-Dade County State Attorney's Office stipulates as such. He was arrested Saturday in Florida on not one, not two, not three, not four, but 5 felony charges, included aggravated battery with a deadly weapon, aggravated stalking, and aggravated battery of a law enforcement officer. That's right. Choose love, baby. It takes all of us. Can we please get some more stupid messages on the field? Can we do that, please? Thank you very much. Some things you just cannot make up. And I can't make up how great Spencer Grimmenstein is with Village Financial Group and how long he has been doing this for so many happy, satisfied customers when it comes to buying a home. Maybe you're in the market to sell your home in 2026, a home equity line of credit. We're talking about somebody with 30 years of experience in the mortgage business. And when you talk about Spence and Village Financial Group, you know what? It's kind of like a boutique service, white glove service, because he's going to take you from the start right to the finish line. Remember, he has access to private money, which will expedite the closure of your loan. Just easy. You can go and give him a call or text him. The number is 916-805-4868. You can also check out the thousands of listings on their website at villagefinancialgroup.com. It's bfgloans.com, bfgloans.com. It makes sense to call Spence at 916-805-4868. Village Financial Group, looking out for your best interest. Hey, when we come back, more phone calls, more messages at 916-779-0929. Also this week, Sean Salisbury tomorrow, Olden Polynice on Wednesday, and more guests this week here on Fox Sports Sacramento.
You've been saying you're going to pay better attention to your home's honeydews. Check one off your list right now by calling Gabrud Services to schedule a 12-point inspection of your home's electrical system. The safe rule of thumb is every 5 years for an inspection. If it's been 5 years or more, call Gabrud's now. A qualified technician will provide a thorough inspection of the electrical system to ensure it's safe or alert you to potential problems. At Gabrud's, electrical work is all we do. We are the area's recognized experts for anything electrical, and our number one priority is ensuring your home and family are safe. You've been saying you'll pay better attention to your home. Stop saying it. Make the call to Gabrud's. Talk with a real person and schedule your 12-point inspection today. Gabrud's, locally owned for more than 30 years. Gubrud's.
Call the good dudes at Gabrud's. Gubrud's. Gabrud's.com.
If you need a new set of top brand tires, Downtown Ford Sacramento has great news for you. For a limited time, we'll beat any competitor's price on a new set of 4 tires. Then kick you down a mail-in rebate of up to $150. And that includes major brands like Pirelli, Bridgestone, Yokohama, and Goodyear. Some restrictions apply. Visit downtownfordsacramento.com for details. Downtown Ford Sacramento on Howe Avenue. Online at downtownfordsacramento.com.
All right, son. Time to put out this campfire.
Dad, we learned about this in school.
Oh, did you now? Okay. What's first?
Smokey Bear said to.
First, drown it with a bucket of water, then stir it with a shovel.
Wow, you sound just like him.
Then he said.
If it's still warm, then do it again.
Where can I learn all this?
It's all on SmokeyBear.com with other wildfire prevention tips. Because only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Wouldn't it be great if life came with a remote control? You know, you could hit pause when you needed to, or hit rewind. Like that time you knocked down that wasp's nest.
Uh-oh.
Or that time you forgot to roll up your windows in the car wash.
Fantastic.
Yeah, a remote control would have come in handy then. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes like managing your weight, getting active, stopping smoking, and eating healthier, you can stop prediabetes before it leads to type 2 diabetes. It's easy to learn your risk. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Life doesn't come with a remote control. Yikes! So you're on your own with the wasps. You have the power to take control of prediabetes. Visit doihaveprediabetes.org today. That's doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
Green Day part of the Super Bowl festivities before the game. 916-779-0929. The Kings and the Pelicans, the two worst teams in the Western Conference. If you are a Kings fan, you want them to lose this game tonight. The game starts at 5 o'clock, which means we will have our post-game show over on YouTube and X after the game, roughly 7:15, 7:30. We'll see if Nick Clifford can keep it going after a really, really impressive game the last time out, although it was not a victory. But the Kings will be shorthanded again. No Zach LaVine, no Malik Monk. LaVine with a finger. God, I hope he's going to be okay. Malik with an illness. And then we know about Murray. We'll wait and see on Sabonis. But the Kings, this is a game you would, if you're a fan, you want them to lose this game because right now they are 2 games worse than New Orleans. And you want to make sure you get one of those top picks coming up in the NBA draft. So we'll talk about that and more at 916-779-0929. What do you do now that football's over? Do you turn your attention to the Olympics for the next 2 weeks? Are you into the Winter Olympics? Lindsey Vonn saying that she has no regrets in her first public statement since her horrific fall, accident, crash, call it whatever you want, in the women's downhills. Again, she came out today and said she has no regrets. Grant, not sure if you watched any of the pregame show. For the record, no, I did not. But why did they have Kyle Shanahan and Fred Warner as analysts for a Super Bowl with their rivals in and their home stadium? They couldn't get any other player or coach. Stupid and pointless. Well, first of all, I disagree with you. It doesn't really matter that they were on and Seattle being their rivals and in their stadium. That you're talking just from a 49ers perspective, who you can't handle the fact that the Seahawks beat you and they're in the Super Bowl. Who knows Seattle better than Kyle Shanahan and Fred Warner in terms of analyzing a Super Bowl? Like, who would be able to talk about Seattle from an opponent's perspective better than those two?
As the great Ted DiBiase would say, everybody has a price.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that. First of all, how long is the pregame show? What is it, 4 hours, 5 hours on the NFL Network and the NBC and everything else? Like, I don't have a problem with that. I don't watch it. I don't care about that stuff. I'm so turned off by what has happened with our sports media in this country that I'm done with it. I don't watch any pregame shows. I don't watch any halftime shows. I don't watch postgame shows. I don't watch any of that crap. All right? I really don't. You know what? I watch one postgame show, and that's ours that we do. That's the only show I watch.
It's a pretty good one. Not gonna lie.
Yes.
I mean,
Yes.
ESPN
But this
hasn't.
network nonsense where you got to, fit in all the agendas and you got to promote this and you got to promote that. You got to be politically correct and you got to be woke. And I'm done with it. I don't want it. It's not part of my life anymore. I just go click. I don't turn it off. I did not start watching the game. I did not turn on the game until literally, I'm not exaggerating, the national anthem began. I saw the national anthem and I saw the coin toss and the kickoff. That's what I saw before the game started.
Well,
but I did see Shanahan and Warner. I don't have a problem with that at all. Who cares?
I think Niners fans care more than Warner and Shanahan probably care. I thought the NFL did a really good job with that 30-minute pregame segment. Not the guys talking on the field, but introducing the previous Super Bowl MVPs and introducing this new MVP jacket that the Super Bowl MVP will get. It seems like from now on, and then Green Day, as you mentioned, they played a little bit, and it was off to the races with the national anthem, God Bless America, and you tuning in at that point with the coin toss.
Yep. All right, let's get to Texas. Wow, we're getting to the Lone Star State. We say hello to David. Hello, David. Welcome to the show.
Mr. Napear, how are you, buddy?
Good. How are you?
Good. Just wanted to talk a little bit about some of the statistics that not too many people talked about, in the week and a half leading up to the game. Drake May's touchdown to interception ratio was about 2-1 over Donald. I think Donald had almost a 50% interception to touchdown ratio, whereas Drake May is about 75%, 80% touchdowns to interception. But the one statistic that nobody really talked about was that over the last 20 to 25 years in the NFL, no quarterback, and certainly no quarterback that ever made it to the playoffs, had more fumbles than Drake May did this year. Couldn't hold on to the ball. Even when they went 9-0, even when they went 9-0 on the road, they still, he still was fumbling the ball.
Let me ask you this: how much of that do you put on? Let me ask you this, David: how much of that do you put on Drake May, and how much of that do you put on the offensive line, who really, particularly late in the season and in the playoffs, had a real problem protecting May? Do you look at that as he held on to the ball too long? Do you put some of that on the line? When you look at the Patriots, tell me, how do you break that down?
I put 70 to 80% of the fault on the Patriots' offensive line's inability to protect May. Yesterday, I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think Seattle had 6 sacks. They certainly had the most sacks in Super Bowl history, and I think 5 out of those 6 sacks, I think, were by a 4-man rush. When your 5-man line with a tight end can't protect your quarterback against only 4 rushes, obviously you have a big problem. The Patriots' last 3 games of the season, maybe even 4, were horrible.
That's how the Giants beat the Patriots in the first Super Bowl, with a 4-man rush. They kept on, they had 6 to 7 really good defensive linemen. They were rotating them, and that was the difference in the game when the Patriots were going for their undefeated season. The Super Bowl in Arizona that the Giants won on the touchdown from Eli to Plex in the corner was the winning score. But if you remember, that's the same thing. They could not protect Tom Brady in that game.
You hit it right on the head. So, listen, he's only 23 years old, right? He's a young kid. Josh McDaniels made a horrible error in judgment going into the second half. He saw that offensive line couldn't protect May in a straight drop back schematic, and he didn't even attempt to roll, keep a tight end in and roll May out in the second half to try to alleviate the pressure. and that four-man rush. So I believe a good percentage of it was also on Josh McDaniel's inability to adjust in the second half.
Dave, good call, man. Appreciate it. Good hearing from you. You take care.
All right, pal. Take care. Bye-bye.
Yep, you do the same. Bye-bye. Obviously, by the accent, Dave is not from Texas. That's for sure. Patriots fan. He's right. I was thinking the same thing in the second half. I'm not so sure it would have mattered. I really thought, despite the fact that, New England got some scores in the fourth quarter, the game was over early, and you could just see the flow of the game. I not one time watching the game yesterday said to myself in the second half, not one time did I say to myself, New England has a chance to win this game. Even though it was, still manageable until really Darnold did throw that touchdown that we heard from Kevin Harlan to make it 18-0. I never thought until that point, and when I mean that point, I mean the game was clearly over then, but before that, I didn't think that New England had a chance to get back in the game because there was no way the Seattle defense was going to change what they were doing and all of a sudden not be able to stop the Patriots. So, yeah, I looked at the game. If I look at this from the Patriots, I'm not really that disappointed with the big picture. They are really set up for a nice run here with Mike Vrabel. I'm not worried about Drake May. The Patriots, to me, are going to be around for a while. They are going to be around for a while. 916-779-0929. That's 779-0929. Getting a lot of calls, or not calls, but a lot of messages on social media as it pertains to Mike Tirico and Chris Collinsworth. Listen, I got to be honest with you. I was in a sports bar watching the game, and I didn't hear the game as well as if I had been at home, but I did hear some of it. Listen, Mike Tirico is top shelf. He's great. He's on his way to do Olympic coverage. And by the way, for those of you out there that marvel about Mike Tirico's schedule going from the NBA to do the Super Bowl to the Olympics, stop it, would you please? He talks for a living, okay? It's not as hard as everyone makes it out to seem. Now, I'm not saying that I could be Mike Tirico in terms of his excellence because he is really, really good at what he does. But in terms of the people that want to make it a physical grind, no, the people that build, buildings and bridges, and when it's 100 degrees out and put tar on the road, when it's 100 degrees out in the summertime, right? Nurses, firefighters, law enforcement, that's a hard job. Okay, what I do and what Mike Tirico does and what Chris Collinsworth does, it's not a hard job. It's just not. And if you know how to talk for a living and you're good at what Kevin Harlan does, and we heard his sound, it's not hard for Kevin Harlan to announce 2 NBA games, then get on a plane and fly to San Francisco or San Jose and check into his hotel and, get in his limousine to drive to the arena and announce the game. For Kevin Harlan, that is not hard. Okay? It's not. Kevin could get up out of a 9-hour slumber, jump in a shower, get dressed, and be in the stadium within 45 minutes and announce the game, and you wouldn't know whether he had slept for 9 hours or 15 minutes the night before. So for those of you that, are media critics that rave and go on and on about, wow, gosh, I can't believe that he was in New York on Wednesday and in San Jose on Saturday or Sunday and then in Milan on Monday. Mike Tirico is not flying commercial, okay? Let's understand something. Mike Tirico is not flying around for the network, making connections, at DFW and waiting for a mechanical, all right? He's not waiting aboard with, 195 other people. All right, he's on his Gulfstream 5 or whatever it is that the network has, and, he's sleeping on the plane, all right? He's eating gourmet food with gourmet wine, all right, and flying in comfort that only the rest of us can dream of. It's not hard. All right, so stop it with making out, oh, wow, geez. It's not hard. It always kills me, Ryan, when I read these so-called media critics who have no idea what we do for a living and rave and just oh, my God, I can't believe his work schedule.
Yeah, and I can't really speak to it. You lived it, you know it, and I think you did a good job laying that out. I will give NBC credit for this. I really liked yesterday when they were talking about a player. Instead of putting them up in their uniform, they were just in regular, nicely dressed clothes. It told you their hometown, because you don't get that in football a lot, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because you got helmets on and all that. So good job, NBC. I thought that was a nice part of the broadcast.
And just to put it in perspective, I've never done the network TV like Mike Tirico, but I've done a game on the West Coast. I've done a game the next night on the East Coast, and then done a game the following night on the West Coast. And just to give a little perspective, I wasn't flying on a private aircraft, although on the way back from the East Coast, I was on a team charter with the San Jose SaberCats. But the point I'm trying to make is the most important thing is to get your rest, because the most difficult part about this job, because we all ad-lib and everything that we do is a reaction to what we're seeing on the field, and it's all spontaneous. And so your mind has to have clarity. And generally speaking, when you're tired, it's more difficult to get your thoughts together and then speak with what you're seeing. But as long as you get your sleep, it's not hard at all to be in LA on a Saturday night, New York on a Sunday night, and Portland on a Monday night doing games. It really isn't. I'm sorry. It's not. And I don't mean to brag, Ryan, but there were a number of times when I'd be in LA doing the Jim Rome show from 9 to 12, then be back in Sacramento to do my show courtside from 3 to 6, and then announce an NBA game. And was I tired at the end of the game? Yes. But it's not like hard labor. If you know how to talk, which Mike Tirico is one of the very best in the business, period. And that's why he has got the platform that he has, and it's been well-deserved. And the guy, by the way, he's a great guy. I know Mike. I have nothing bad to say about Mike Tirico. He's a great guy. I mean, again, it's just a matter of getting your rest.
Yeah, and I'm sure he is not too torn up about going over to Italy for.
I don't think so.
The Olympics.
Although, I mean, he's not going to have a lot of free time based on what his requirements are. Speaking of the Olympics, have you watched any of the Olympics?
I have not. No.
Okay. Will you now watch some of the Olympics now that football is over, or not?
Yeah, I'll probably catch some here and there, especially during the All-Star break for the association.
So when you watch the Olympics, first of all, did you see Lindsey Vohn's crash?
I did, yes.
Okay. So I am not a ski expert in any way, shape, or form. It did not appear to me, just from my vantage point, that her crash was caused by her torn ACL. It just seemed to me that she got caught in the gate, which changed her momentum.
Right.
I admire the heck out of her even trying to compete with a ruptured ACL and skiing, 80 miles an hour down the mountain. To me, that is just hard to fathom. It takes true guts and courage. And so she deserves every single accolade that she is getting. But in that particular crash, and again, I'm not a downhill skier, and I'm not somebody that should be even speaking as a quote unquote ski expert, because I'm not. But it looked like it's just the error getting too close to the gate, which, threw her off balance.
Yeah, that seems to be the consensus from those that watch. And this is not a bunny hill, y'all. This is
no, it is not a bunny hill.
Think about Black Diamond and multiply that by 3. So, yeah.
No,
somebody that has nothing to prove, too, in Lindsey Vonn. I respect the heck out of her.
All right, we'll come back, 916-779-0929. The Grant Napear Show on Fox Sports Sacramento.
We are the
Okay, we are running a car drive right now to help veterans all across America. So if you have an old car, truck, or van, even a motorcycle or an RV sitting around, you can right now give it away and help the vets. They really need your help. And your car will help support the vets and their families. And guess what? You even get a tax donation. Plus, we'll even come and pick up your car for free. And all you've got to do is pick up your phone right now and make a free call. Now is the perfect time to do something good for the vets. Give back to the vets right now for all they've done for this country. And your old car can really help them. So call the Veterans Car Donation Program right now for free pickup of your vehicle. Help the vets and help your taxes at the same time. Call right now.
800-598-0539. 800-598-0539. 800-598-0539. That's 800-598-0539.
Call the good dudes at Gabrudes. G-U-B-R-U-D-S.
Homeowners, if you have an electrical project you need done, then you need the good dudes at Gabrudes. Family owned and operated for 30 years, Jay Gabrude and his team are the area's recognized experts for everything electrical, from the very basic like repairs, lighting upgrades, and whole house fans, to the biggies, panel replacements, EV stations, and backup generators. Gabrudes does it all and does it right the first time. They're actually the guys their competition recommends. Gabrudes, expert, 5-star service, and always transparent, honest prices and solutions. Say goodbye to your electrical issues. Visit Gabrudes.com or call 24/7 and speak with a real live person. Gabrudes, G-U-B-R-U-D-S.
Call the good dudes at Gabrudes. G-U-B-R-U-D-S. Gabrudes.com.
Hey, it's Grant Napear for my friends at DAS Mechanical. Did you know most homeowners are changing their heating and air systems from gas to all electric? It's about getting more energy efficiency and saving a lot more money every month on energy bills. If your current heating and air system is 15 years or older, it may be time to consider a change. Call DAS Mechanical first. Nearly all of DAS's work is gas to electric whole system changeouts. Nick and his team, they're experts. They also have 0% financing and 24/7 availability if you ever have a heating emergency. Award-winning, locally owned. It's DAS Mechanical, serving their Sacramento and Placer County neighbors for years. Save more on your energy bills. Call, text, or chat at 530-591-1055 to find out more, or go to dasmechanical.org. That's dasmechanical.org.
Wouldn't it be great if life came with a remote control? You know, you could hit pause when you needed to, or hit rewind, like that time you knocked down that wasp's nest.
Uh-oh.
Or that time you forgot to roll up your windows in the car wash.
Fantastic.
Yeah, a remote control would have come in handy then. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes like managing your weight, getting active, stopping smoking, and eating healthier, you can stop prediabetes before it leads to type 2 diabetes. It's easy to learn your risk. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Life doesn't come with a remote control. Yikes! So you're on your own with the wasps. You have the power to take control of prediabetes. Visit doihaveprediabetes.org today. That's doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
Nine 916-779-0929. Something else I want to talk about, and there are many that are afraid to talk about this, but I'm not. Grant, about Kevin Harlan, by the way, please try to get him on your show. He is going to be coming on my show. I decided to wait until after football season because his schedule has been too crazy during football season, but he will be coming on, and he told me he would be happy to come on my show. So I'm going to let him get through this week, and I'll reach out to him next week. But don't worry, Kevin Harlan will be coming on my show. So I don't know why there are members of the media, some who feel that it is appropriate to ask an athlete at the podium about how they feel about what's going on in America. We saw it at the recent Australian Open, right? And I commented on that. Like, really? You're asking men and women's tennis players at the Australian Open political questions? Like, seriously? And then we're seeing it at the Olympics, and some of the athletes are answering the questions, such as an individual, Hunter Hess, who I've never heard of before, an American skier. And I was so happy that Mike Eruzione, a true American hero from 1980, and by the way, in 1980, unemployment was at 20%, gas was being rationed, you had to wait online, sometimes up to an hour to get gas. All right, if you had an odd license plate or an even license plate, meaning the number ended in an odd number or an even number, you could only get gas on that day. All right, and I didn't hear Mike Eruzione or Jim Craig or Ken Morrow or Mark Johnson. I didn't hear them criticize what was going on in the United States, okay? But now all of a sudden, when I say all of a sudden, I'm talking about in recent memory, it's now fashionable to not only have the media ask these sorts of questions, but have athletes answering them. And so Hunter Hess last week said that just because I'm wearing the flag doesn't mean I represent everything that's going on in the U.S. And he added that he was primarily representing his friends, family, and personal values. So Mike Eruzione went on X and said, Hunter Hess saying he doesn't represent his country, but his family and friends, then don't put on the USA uniform, maybe just put for family and friends. Some athletes just don't get it. Good for Mike Eruzione, who, by the way, ended up later deleting the post. And I don't know why he deleted the post, because I agree with him. All right, I don't want to hear how our athletes feel about what's going on in the country. It's not appropriate. Plain and simple, it's not appropriate. Because if you want to just poll all the athletes that are in the Winter Olympics about what's going on in their country, both pro and con, you're not going to find anywhere in the world where the people of their country are totally on board with what's going on politically, socially, or what have you. That's the way we live in the world, all right? It is a turnoff for me. I don't want it. That's why I don't talk about politics on this show, because you don't tune in to hear Grant Napear talk about his political views. That's not what you tune into my show for, because you really don't care, right? Not only do you not care, but unfortunately, you would make a judgment on me based on what I said, which is absurd and stupid. So that's another reason why I don't talk about it. I don't want to hear our athletes who are representing the United States at the Olympics talk about what's going on politically and socially in this country. I don't care, all right? Represent your country. You're an athlete in the Olympics, all right? Focus in on your sport. I drives me crazy. And these individuals in the media that, you know, after an athlete has just competed in their event or just completed a match at the Australian Open, I gotta listen to that nonsense? No way. Not doing it. 916-779-0929. Said Grant from the 530, I want to see them break the 14-game losing streak. Let's set some franchise records. It's at 12 right now. So we'll see. Right now it is at 12 and counting. And the game tonight coming up in about an hour, tip-off in about an hour and 20 minutes. But I wanted to just talk about today, since the Olympics are going on. And for me, it's an instant turn-off. It's like click. I'm serious. To me, it's a click. Don't want it. 916-779-0929. That's 779-0929. Speaking of the Olympics, did you see the U.S. bobsled team? Oh, my gosh. Like, if you're in the 4-man bobsled competition and 3 of the bobsledders can't get into the sled, you probably don't have a real good chance of getting a medal if the 3 individuals behind the lead individual in the sled don't make it onto the sled. Yeah, you probably don't have a real good opportunity. Yeah. Ryan, did you see the video of that?
I did not.
Oh, my gosh. So you got the 4-man bobsled, right?
Yeah.
And you have to, obviously you have to go in order.
Uh-huh.
But it's quick. Like it's almost simultaneous.
Yeah.
Because the individual in the they all push the bobsled.
I got you. I've seen Cool Runnings.
Yeah. So then, okay. So then, the second person gets in, the third, and the fourth is the last to get in. But it's done very quickly. Well, they kind of misstepped and they didn't make it into the sled. And one had a very bad fall over the wall and back onto the hard ice. And so you can only stop the sled by being in the back because that's where the brakes are. So the driver eventually realizes that there's no one on the sled with him because you can definitely feel the difference in the weight. He, at one point, was able to turn around and he actually maneuvers himself from the front of the sled to the back so he could stop it because that's the only place where the brakes are.
Oh, my goodness.
It was unbelievable. You should Google that. You can find it. It is unbelievable.
Yeah, I'll check it out. You know,
yeah, you got to check it out.
They do that so many times.
Yes.
And on that stage, for that to happen. Oh.
Yeah. Someone says, Grant, it seems like the media is trying to bait the athletes into saying something so they can catch them in a gotcha moment. It's very true. And if you're an athlete, it's a no-win situation. Why would you want to have that distracting you when you're over there trying to complete a lifelong dream and years of your expertise from the 916? You're on the world stage. Don't bring that to the Olympics. You represent all of the United States. There's no place for internal party dynamics there. Just be a proud American. We all live a pretty blessed life. That's from Mike.
Yeah, you know what? The Olympics needs to police that as well because you're there to cover the Olympics, right?
Correct. Yep.
You should not be asking those
Same thing
questions.
in all sports.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't want to have that at the Australian Open. I know I'm going to hear it at the U.S. Open. I don't want to hear it. You don't have foreign journalists asking members of their country, the same question. It's only in America that you hear that. It's unbelievable.
It's a selfish question if you're the member of the media asking that because you're looking to go viral.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. We got phone calls to get to in the next hour. The Kings and the Pelicans. We put a wrap again on the NFL season. Who do you think was the most disappointing team in the NFL this year? The team that was most disappointing. That's next, right here on Fox Sports Sacramento.
Okay, we are running a car drive right now to help veterans all across America. So if you have an old car, truck, or van, even a motorcycle or an RV sitting around, you can right now give it away and help the vets. They really need your help. And your car will help support the vets and their families. And guess what? You even get a tax donation. Plus, we'll even come and pick up your car for free. And all you've got to do is pick up your phone right now and make a free call. Now is the perfect time to do something good for the vets. vets. Give back to the vets right now for all they've done for this country, and your old car can really help them. So call the Veterans Car Donation Program right now for free pickup of your vehicle. Help the vets and help your taxes at the same time. Call right now.
800-598-0539. 800-598-0539. 800-598-0539. That's 800-598-0539.
At Sierra Pacific Home and Comfort, just as our name says, we're in the business of home comfort. So if the heater goes out and the house is suddenly uncomfortable, we got your back. Sierra Pacific's friendly heating and air technicians are always ready to come to the rescue when you need it the most. Sierra Pacific Home and Comfort, trusted heating, air, solar, and electric experts. Visit today at SierraPacificHome.com.
Sierra Pacific Solar Heating and Air. The guys in the big red trucks.
Are you SAC Alert? Have you signed up to receive emergency alerts via phone, text, email, or app? Well, what are you waiting for? Winter is coming, and that means there is potential for storms and flooding in our county. Don't get caught off guard or left in the cold. Get urgent storm evacuation and shelter information immediately sent directly to your device. Sign up today at sacramento-alert.org. Again, that's sacramento-alert.org. It's free, quick, and easy to do, and can literally be a lifesaver.
You've been saying you're going to pay better attention to your home's honeydews. Check one off your list right now by calling Gabrud Services to schedule a 12-point inspection of your home's electrical system. The safe rule of thumb is every 5 years for an inspection. If it's been 5 years or more, call Gabrud's now. A qualified technician will provide a thorough inspection of the electrical system to ensure it's safe or alert you to potential problems. At Gabrud's, electrical work is all we do. We are the area's recognized experts for anything electrical, and our number one priority is ensuring your home and family are safe. You've been saying you'll pay better attention to your home. Stop saying it. Make the call to Gabrud's. Talk with a real person and schedule your 12-point inspection today. Gabrud's, locally owned for more than 30 years. G-U-B-R-U-D-S.
Call the good dudes at Gabrud's. G-U-B-R-U-D-S. Gabrud's.com.
Wouldn't it be great if life came with a remote control? You know, you could hit pause when you needed to, or hit rewind, like that time you knocked down that wasp's nest.
Uh-oh.
Or that time you forgot to roll up your windows in the car wash.
Fantastic.
Yeah, a remote control would have come in handy then. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes like managing your weight, getting active, stopping smoking, and eating healthier, you can stop prediabetes before it leads to type 2 diabetes. It's easy to learn your risk. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Life doesn't come with a remote control. Yikes! So you're on your own with the wasps. You have the power to take control of prediabetes. Visit doihaveprediabetes.org today. That's doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
Grant Napear is back every weekday afternoon, 3 to 6. This is Fox Sports, KSAC 890 AM Olivehurst, K284CM 104.7 FM Sacramento.
Hour number 2, we take your phone calls at 916-779-0929. Let's say hello to Philip in Galt. Hello, Philip. How are you?
Hey, Grant. How are you doing?
I'm good, Philip. How are you?
Pretty good. How was your Super Bowl experience? Did you do a party at your house? Did you watch it by yourself?
No, I was with my friends at a sports bar.
Nice. I did. I went. My Super Bowl experience was cool. I got to go to Pleasanton and watch it with Joe Madden, the legendary son of John Madden. I got to watch it at the studio he has. It's called Goal Line Studio. He does production stuff over there.
Good.
So it was cool. It was a cool experience.
Good.
They have LED screen. And I met a Raider great, and he played for Stanford. His name is Mike daughter, he was a part of the Raiders 1983 Super Bowl team and played for Stanford and was a part of the gold medal team for the baseball World Series. Pretty good
for you,
athlete
buddy.
right there. Yeah, it's pretty good. And Mike, he was really nice. He let us try on the Super Bowl ring. Really nice guy. I got to meet a Raider great. And then I was talking to him, though, about the Raiders. And he was pretty excited about Kubiak, Clint Kubiak. Clint Kubiak being the new,
right.
Kubiak's son. But he was excited about him being the Raiders coach, and he was talking to me and saying that you never know, drafting Fernando Mendoza, getting Kubiak as the coach, and then get some offense, get some good protection offensive line. You could turn this thing around. That's what he was talking about, and I was like, wow, I hope so. He made it sound good. And then I like Colton Miller. He's one of the good offensive linemen for the Raiders. So they have some bits and pieces. What do you think about that, Grant?
Well, you know what, Philip? They got a lot of areas that's not going to happen overnight, and they first and foremost have to draft the right player. Whether it's going to be Fernando Mendoza or whatever direction they go in, that has to be a home run. But it's not a quick fix. They've got a lot of areas of concern, and it's going to take a while. So we'll see. You know what? I don't have a crystal ball.
We don't have a crystal ball. No, we don't. All right, Grant. Well, I just wanted to tell you about my Super Bowl experience. It was a good. It wasn't the best Super Bowl. Wait, what do you think? That's a good question. What's the best Super Bowl you watched, Grant, or that you've been to? I know you've been to a couple Super Bowls.
Well, the one with my
question.
two, and thank you for the call, Philip. I really appreciate you. The one with my two sons at Indianapolis when the Giants beat the Patriots for the second time in 2011. That was the best one. That was great. I mean, I was at the first Giants Super Bowl in January of 1987, and I'll never forget that, obviously. But I was single at the time, young in my 20s, and now being able to share that years later with my two boys in person in Indianapolis was phenomenal. From the 631, I was selling soda and coffee at those gas stations as a 14-year-old. Tough times we had. A summer Olympic boycott. The country spoke, not the athletes. Very true. From the 209, Grant, what do you think is the biggest need for the 49ers in this offseason? Honestly, health. That's their biggest need, health. They've got good personnel. Yeah, there's going to be changes, but they still have a really strong team, in my opinion. And first and foremost, they got to remain healthy. They were decimated by injuries. All right, let's switch gears real quickly and talk about most disappointing team in the NFL, because I think the 49ers would not be in that category. What they did this year with all the injuries that they had, to me, was amazing. Okay. You know, they would be one of the teams that I would put on the opposite side of that. But when you look at just the recent season that was completed, and you think about the teams that we thought would be right there, I got to lead with the Detroit Lions. For the Detroit Lions not to even make the playoffs after being the number one seed and relatively healthy. I mean, it's not like they were decimated by injuries. The Detroit Lions finishing 9-8 in their division, which was last, and not making the playoffs, to me, was the most disappointing team in the NFC. In the AFC, I would probably go with Baltimore, especially after what I watched in week one, even though they lost, at Buffalo on that Sunday night game. They dominated that game. The Derrick Henry fumble with just a couple of minutes left gave Buffalo a chance, and they took advantage of it. I thought Baltimore, even though they got hot at the end, to go 8-9, not have John Harbaugh anymore, which ends up being a really favorable move for the New York Giants. I think Detroit and Baltimore are my two most disappointing teams from this past season. Agree or disagree? I mean, I'm not sure who else you would take in the AFC. I mean, you might take Kansas City, but most people had Kansas City dropping off a little bit. Maybe not to the form of 6-11. You had the Patrick Mahomes season-ending injury. You had a lot of things go on with Kansas City. You have Kelsey, who's certainly not the same player that he was. So you could add Kansas City to that list, but Baltimore, to me, I would put it number one on that list. And number two I can't say number two, but Detroit's number one in the NFC, Baltimore number one in the AFC. Agree or disagree? Rhino, what is your take on my two choices for most disappointing teams in the NFL this season?
Well, they're hard to argue with. I think there's certainly other teams that we can put into the discussion. I only have this question. Could you include the postseason as a consideration for your candidate for most disappointing team? Are you eliminated if you make the postseason?
Yeah, if you make the postseason, you're not on my list. That's just how I've always done it. But if you want to add playoff teams, then we can do that, yes.
Yeah, like I got to think Dave from Elk Grove is jumping through tables about the Bills and watching what happened in the AFC side of things in the playoffs this year. This was the Bills' year to make that run. They had everything behind them in terms of closing out their stadium and moving into the new Highmark Stadium, and with just the abundance of offense that we saw in the AFC, that would have or could have been the kryptonite to a bad Super Bowl for many.
It could have been. And all their nemesis were gone. Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, right? No Joe Burrow. So they were in a great situation and they didn't take advantage of it. And I put it right on the shoulders of Josh Allen, who, quite frankly, no pun intended, dropped the ball in the game in Denver after winning the first round. I mean, I put it right on his shoulders. He's got to be better in that situation, and he wasn't.
I think one team, you're spot on, by the way. I think one team that a lot of people will jump to is the Washington Commanders, but I can't really jump to them because it was only a 1-year sample size, right? And look at how they won some of those games in that really good year last season.
Yes.
It was last second, Hail Marys, etc. You know, they got bit by the injury bug, especially at quarterback. But
with Jaden Daniels, sure.
Yeah, exactly. But when you have the sample size of the Lions, that's just, it's almost Buffalo-esque, right?
Yeah, I guess the issue I have is, he only played in 8 of the 17 games, and Daniels was the reason why Washington was so good the year before when they went in and made it all the way to the NFC Championship game after beating the number 1 seed Detroit in Detroit. Jaden Daniels was incredible, and so we saw a guy that was hurt, and when he wasn't hurt, he wasn't as effective as the year before. It was almost like what we've seen in C.J. Stroud. Stroud was great in his rookie season, and that's been his best season to date. Will that be the same case with Daniels?
It's a great question. I got to think it will to a degree just because the running quarterback has a shelf life. And what I mean by that is the reckless, abandoned running quarterback. You have to adjust that. There's times to be that player. You can't be that player every week of the NFL season. So I think by default, that means he has to improve McDaniels, his drop back game.
And that is, to me, John Harbaugh's biggest challenge now that he's the head coach of the Giants.
Nailed it.
And that is to get Jackson, or excuse me?
I said you nailed that. Yeah.
Right? His biggest job, Rhino, is to get Jackson Dart to change his mentality of thinking that he's a linebacker playing quarterback. Because there's no way, Ryan, that the Giants are going to get out of their doldrums without Dart on the field. And how many times was Dart in the tent under concussion protocol and actually did get a concussion because his mentality is, hey, I'm not going out of bounds. I'm not going to elude the hit. That's how I play. Well, that doesn't work in the NFL. So that is Harbaugh's biggest challenge to me.
Yeah, and I think he has the seasoning. He's been through it with Lamar Jackson that he can get through, because it's not just about Jackson Dart's play on the field. It's the moxie, the feeling, the mojo that he brings to the 52 other guys that are playing alongside him. He's got to be on that field with that team.
So if you want to add on to this before we put a wrap on the NFL season, and we will take your phone calls at 916-779-0929. But when you look at disappointing teams and the Detroit Lions, I got to believe that Detroit, now with that division and the emergence of Caleb Williams, and you look at Green Bay, Minnesota, I'm still not sold on. I know they went 9-8. But I'm not sold on J.J. McCarthy. So that has to change for me. But is Detroit going to be able to just come back and be the team that they were last year and the year before? And that's a team that was knocking on the door in the NFC in terms of being in the Super Bowl.
No.
That because they still are a good team. But right now, I don't see them being on the same page as the Rams or the Seahawks. If I'm looking at the top two teams right now in the NFC are still in the NFC West. And I don't mean to eliminate the Niners, but like they could arguably still be the three best teams in the NFC. I'm talking about Seattle, the Rams, and the 49ers. It's nobody in the NFC South, right? It's not anyone in the NFC East.
Right.
So that leaves, if you take those three teams out, that basically leaves Chicago, Green Bay, and Detroit.
Yeah. I think if Detroit does nothing, you're going to end up in that Buffalo situation, right? Like you can't stand pat in the NFL anymore, especially when you're 2 years removed from an NFC championship game now. So, to your point about the Niners, I don't have them that far behind the Seahawks and the Rams. If they're
I don't either.
But
no, they're good when they're healthy. I would agree with that. So we already saw how well they can do with their injuries. And if you can get Bosa back and Warner, and obviously they'll be back, but I mean, if you can keep them healthy, the question now is McCaffrey just had an injury-free year for all intents and purposes, and we know his history.
Yeah.
He is so important to that offense. That's the one guy on offense that you probably can't afford to lose.
Is he ever? Yeah. And the usage rate through the roof with him. Incredible that he got through this season the way he did.
It is.
You can't lose him. I think really the big question when you look at the NFC, Grant, is did the Bears capture lightning in a bottle, or is that something that is in that building and they're going to follow up on and they're going to get better? I think that's the biggest unknown when you look at the top of the NFC.
When I watch Caleb Williams in the postseason, I believe that they are well on their way. The fourth down throw that he made to beat Green Bay, rolling out to his left and throwing across his body, the way he played in the game that they lost to the Rams, I just think he has shown enough growth with Ben Johnson as the first-year head coach. I think he showed me the growth that I needed to see.
Yeah.
Where I think he can be one of the very best quarterbacks in the NFL. And if you have that individual calling signals, you always have a chance to win.
What Sean Salisbury always say about him, he's got to be able to make the easy play.
Yes, correct.
If he's able to do that, then yes, I am with you about Chicago. And I think when Chicago's good, the rest of the NFL is better for it. Same thing goes true for the Giants, the big city teams, except the Dallas Cowboys. NFL's never better when the Dallas Cowboys are good. But to the Patriots, this is the interesting one to me. And I get Drake May was banged up coming into the Super Bowl, and everybody to a degree is banged up, but you don't want to be banged up at that position. I think the Patriots are not as good as they were this year. I think the AFC was down a little bit. I thought the playoffs in the AFC were not great. I think they're going to take a step back. I don't think that they'll be in the playoffs, but they're not going to be contending.
14-3.
Yeah, I just don't see that. I see them as a team taking a step back.
To me, both New England and Denver were not 14-3 teams. All right, good teams that I respect, but not as good as the record would indicate. So as I look at next year, without even knowing what free agency is going to look like, without knowing anything that could happen in the NFL draft, to me, I can't put Miami or the Jets in there. I think in the AFC North, we have to wait and see who's going to be the quarterback with Mike Holmgren as the new head coach. You have a new coach and new coaching staff in Baltimore.
Mike Holmgren?
Yeah, have you ever heard of him before?
Yeah.
Mike McCarthy, I'm sorry.
Okay. I was like, wait, Mike Holmgren's back in the league?
I'm sorry. Mike McCarthy, the head coach who leaves Dallas a couple of years ago and is now the head coach in Pittsburgh. Sorry about that.
All good.
And maybe they'd be better with Mike Holmgren. But maybe. Mike McCarthy, who's going to be the quarterback there, right? Then you have Baltimore, new coaching staff. You want to talk about a guy with a lot of usage in what we saw in Derrick Henry. You have Lamar Jackson, been hurt a lot. Will Joe Burrow be able to stay on the field? And then I'll tell you, I would not rule out Jacksonville and Houston for being the two best teams in AFC next year.
You have to with the defense in Houston.
Correct. That's correct.
What you just saw in this Super Bowl just shows you that if you have a great defense, you can win a championship. Jacksonville, a little bit up in the air for me. Trevor Lawrence, this seems like the year though, right, Grant? Like Trevor Lawrence has to follow up on this past season.
Yeah, he has to. They were 13-4. They were for real. I mean, you can't argue with that. And they were 10-2 in their conference, and he does have to follow it up. Yes, but I like Jacksonville. I think they got a really good team. I think they're underappreciated, and Houston's defense will keep them in every game. So if I'm looking at the AFC next year, again, I think it's wide open. I think Denver's in the mix. I think the Chargers are in the mix. I think Jacksonville and Houston are right there. Indianapolis was rolling before Daniel Jones got hurt.
Great point.
In the AFC North, I just don't know. I mean, again, with Mike McCarthy, who's going to be his quarterback, Baltimore's got a whole new look with the coaching staff. I'm not sold on Cincinnati, although when Joe Burrow's on the field, they're pretty dynamic. And then in the AFC East, it's New England or Buffalo. Miami's not there. The Jets aren't there.
Doesn't it feel like maybe Joe Burrow needs a new home?
Maybe he can go play for my team anytime he wants. I love Joe Burrow. I think he's a phenomenal quarterback. So, all right. If you want to call the show, 916-779-0929. Hey, DAS Mechanical, I love talking about them and everything they can do when it comes to your HVAC system, right? Whether it's retrofitting, whether it's service, they do it all. Yes, of course, they do new systems, homeowners, businesses for commercial maintenance. HVAC retrofit, though, and service specialists, keep that in mind when you need your HVAC system retrofitted or serviced, including 24/7 emergency service if you should have a problem this winter with your heating system. And if you should need financing, no problem. They've got options, including 0% interest for 18 months. Family owned and operated, serving Sacramento and Placer counties. It is easy to schedule everything online. DASmechanical.org. D as in dog, A, S as in Sam, mechanical.org. Spend a couple of moments and check out all of their 5-star reviews and their numerous Best of the Best awards. That's DAS Mechanical, HVAC retrofit and service specialist at dasmechanical.org. We've got phone calls to get to when we return right here on Fox Sports Sacramento.
Homeowners, if you have an electrical project you need done, then you need the good dudes at Gabrude's. Family owned and operated for 30 years, Jay Gabrude and his team are the area's recognized experts for everything electrical, from the very basic like repairs, lighting upgrades, and whole house fans to the biggies, panel replacements, EV stations, and backup generators. Gabroods does it all and does it right the first time. They're actually the guys their competition recommends. Gabroods, expert 5-star service and always transparent, honest prices and solutions. Say goodbye to your electrical issues. Visit Gabroods.com or call 24/7 and speak with a real live person. Gabroods, Gubruds.
Call the good dudes at Gabroods, Gubruds, Gabroods.com.
If you need a new set of top brand tires, Downtown Ford Sacramento has great news for you. For a limited time, we'll beat any competitor's price on a new set of 4 tires. Then, kick you down a mail-in rebate of up to $150, and that includes major brands like Firestone, Nitto, Cooper, Toyo, and Kelly tires. Some restrictions apply. Visit downtownfordsacramento.com for details. Downtown Ford Sacramento on Howe Avenue. Online at downtownfordsacramento.com.
Sacramento, we mean business.
Every freaking day.
Great sports talk doesn't take a day off.
Early bird gets the worm and all that.
Sacktown, it's the home of
Grant Napear.
Lock in, listen up, and stay right here.
And from Dan Patrick in the morning to Grant Napear on your drive home.
There's nothing like the power of live radio. Nothing.
This is Fox Sports Sacramento. 104.7 FM, 890 AM.
Who's canceled now? Nine 779-0929. Kings and Pels coming up at about 15 minutes from now. The Pelicans and the Kings from NOLA. Dave in Elk Grove, we say hello to you on this Monday afternoon. Hello, Dave.
Hey, Grant. How you doing, buddy?
Good, Dave. What's up?
Good. Just enjoying your wrap. Putting a bow on the NFL season. Obviously, a little bit disappointing for me and my Bills. As you and Rhino had mentioned, the path had been cleared without Mahomes, Jackson, and Burrow. We had a pretty favorable schedule, and a lot of the Bills Mafia, myself not included, are pinning the loss on the referees. I 100% agree it was a bad call on the interception, but Josh Allen played arguably his worst playoff game of his career. And I tell all my friends I want to blame it on referees. Don't let the referees decide the game. The Bills should have blown out the Broncos, and it shouldn't have never come down to that play.
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't disagree with anything you said. Allen can't play like that in a playoff game. I mean, the entire team is counting on him to be the player that he was previously, and he just can't play the way he did. I mean, it's not acceptable at this point in his career. It was terrible.
Now, let me run one more thing by you. There's a lot of rumors going around Bills Mafia that they need to make some kind of a blockbuster trade at wide receiver. And the big one that's floating around because he has a connection with Joe Brady is Justin Jefferson. But they're saying that the minimum that the Vikings would take is 2 firsts and some other capital. I'm never a fan of giving away first-round draft picks, but this is one that I might make an exception for.
Wow. Well, he might be the best in football. That is for sure. I don't see Buffalo giving up that much to go after Justin Jefferson. I really don't. But him and Josh Allen on the field together, oh, wow. Yeah.
Yeah,
that would be pretty special. But I think the stakes to get him would be too much.
Yeah, well, then they got a salary cap problem to sign him anyway, so they got to work.
Yeah,
on
of
that.
course.
But I
Sure.
agree with you. I think New England's taken a step back. They only played one team this year that had a winning record, and that was the Bills. So
We'll see.
They had the easiest schedule in the league.
Maybe. But they're also, now you have a quarterback who's only 23 that now has another year of experience, including all the postseason and a Super Bowl behind him, and a really good head coach in Mike Vrabel. Now, I understand the schedule, but again, when you win 14 out of 17 games, you're doing something right.
Oh, absolutely. Vrabel was the answer for them. We'll see what happens next year. But I enjoyed talking football with you this year. I'm turning my attention to Olympic hockey and NHL hockey now for the rest of the spring.
Thank you, Dave. I appreciate the phone call. We'll call and talk hockey anytime you want.
Sounds good, Grant. Take care.
Take care. And I say 14-3. Obviously, the regular season, you can add, 3 more wins to that. So during the year, they went 17-4. That's not too bad.
Napes, I don't know if Justin Jefferson will be on the move, but I think the Vikings are in a lot of trouble. Whether you like J.J. McCarthy or not, the guy can't stay on the field.
Yeah. I don't disagree with that. And when you look at the division they play in, there are no easy outs anymore.
No.
That's another thing about that division. Even the Lions, they were 9-8, but now you have Chicago and Green Bay. So that in terms of competitiveness, you can make the argument that Seattle, the Rams, and the Niners are the 3 best teams in the NFC, but they have Arizona in their division. The NFC North, they don't have an Arizona in their division, right? They don't have a bad team in their division. So that's part of it as well.
Yes, but I think there's an argument the Vikings are headed closer to the Cardinals right now, the way that things have been with that quarterback position. I don't know. I think Minnesota might need to look at how they can move up and get, to Dave's point, a pick high where you can get a really good quarterback.
Some very interesting messages on the text line I want to get to. Completely different topics, but I think it can stimulate your thought process and give me your opinion. From the 916, Grant, I think basketball, the way we knew it, is dead. I went to the Cal Poly Davis game, 2 for 22 from 3 at the half, 2 mid-range shots made by both teams all game, 21 fast break dunks. They just run to the 3 on a fast break. This is not basketball. It's just a 3-point contest. I agree. I have a real difficult time getting into what you're talking about when I watch basketball the way it used to be played. I think the 3-point line, as great as it's been, has been also detrimental to the way the game is played now, not only in the NBA and college level, but on AAU, playgrounds all over America. Go to playgrounds, just go drive around when the weather gets warmer and go look at basketball courts and go just spend 5 minutes and see if anyone takes a shot that's not a 3-pointer. Just go ahead. Just go, other than a fast break, where it's one on nobody or whatever. Just go look. Go to any gym, any basketball facility, and go spend some time watching AAU games and see if you notice anyone playing with their back to the basket. Are there any DeMar DeRozans out there? Nope, there aren't. Are there any 7-footers out there that play the way Shaq used to play? Nope. What are they all doing? They're all moving to the 3-point line and taking 3-point shots. I'm with you. All right, now to this, which is a very interesting question. I'm a big hockey fan, and universally in the hockey world, pretty much everyone agrees not letting Russia play hockey in the Olympics over political reasons is a bad call. Well, it's not just hockey. Both the Russian and Belarus Olympic teams have been banned from international competition. I don't like it. I'm well aware of what's going on with the war with Russia and Ukraine. I get it, but I've never been a fan of that. And I think that when you penalize the athletes who have absolutely nothing to do with what is going on in terms of wars is wrong. I've always taken that stance. Always. Grant, was it only me that felt that the Super Bowl didn't have the same big game feel? If you felt the same way, why do you think that is? I'll tell you why that is. Because you didn't have, and even though that may change, because Sam Darnold still has many years and so does Drake May, what we have been accustomed to because of the way the game is promoted and the way the game is marketed is it involves big name quarterbacks. And despite how well Darnold played last year and up until the playoffs this year and through the playoffs and the Super Bowl, you didn't have that Patrick Mahomes, right? You didn't have Aaron Rodgers. You didn't have Josh Allen. You didn't have those big name quarterbacks. You had Drake May and you had Sam Darnold. And I also think that even though it's been a while for the Patriots, it's kind of like, oh, the Patriots again, right? And I think that's part of it. So I'm with you. I never felt that leading up to the week. If you noticed on this show and on many shows around the country, there was very little Super Bowl talk. It was all NBA trades, NBA. You know, would Lindsey Vonn, run the downhill or not? Would she, participate in the downhill? And then, oh yeah, the Super Bowl. Even Radio Row and the interviews that come out of that did not have the same flair as in the past. So I agree with you. Now, Ryan, you might have a different perspective being a Seahawks fan, and you probably digested more and took in more this past week than I did. I kind of tuned it out because it didn't really interest me, but you being a Seahawks fan may have felt differently about that.
No, Radio Row feels like a dying idea to a degree because of the amount of promotion. The people that are getting those good, interesting interviews are the big ballers that are in the media game. Everybody else is, just getting person A from this team, person B from that team. I did think it had a pretty good feel based upon the people that were in the stadium and the crowd noise. But from the outside looking in, yes, it was not super sexy. But you did have somebody that ran on the field, and boy, oh boy, did the crowd go crazy for that. I think the odds were like 50-1 that somebody would run on the field during the Super Bowl.
Whoa. Was that a prop bet?
Oh, yes, it was. You bet.
Wait a minute.
Betcha it was.
Okay. So there's a prop bet. So you could have, hypothetically, what's the max? Do you have any idea what the max you can bet on a prop bet?
I don't know the max, but I am pretty sure that you would be able to put enough down to pay for your trespassing ticket in night and gym.
So if you got 100 of your friends,
yes,
all right, hypothetically, and you said go to Vegas and go to different sports books and put down the maximum allowed on this prop bet, I will run onto the field.
Yep.
And you will pay me 50% or 25% on your return, right?
Yep.
So you're telling me that could happen?
Absolutely.
Wow.
So if you got a group, as you proposed, of like 100 of your friends or 200 of your friends together, and you said 10% of your winnings are going to go towards whatever I have to pay legally, because it's not probably going to be a felony. Now, you do have to pay to get in the building, right? So cheapest ticket yesterday was in the neighborhood between $4,500 and $5,000. So that's a little bit of an investment. But yes, that's a good way to make some money if you're willing to do it.
I'm not willing to do that. First of all, you could get killed running on the field if you get blindsided by a player, which almost happened yesterday on the Patriots, right? So there's that aspect of it as well.
But you could also have Kevin Harlan doing play-by-play of you.
Correct.
That's pretty cool. You
could, but it's not cool when you're arrested and end up in jail, and I don't even know what the fine is for that. But yeah, it's I didn't even think about it before the game that we would have an individual run onto the field. They called it a streaker. To me, that's not a streaker when you have your pants on. Do you agree with that?
Yes,
you consider that a streaker?
No, I do not.
Huh? I do not.
I agree with you. Yes, but you can't. Right. I'm not going to get into why you can't have a full streaker. pretty obvious. I think there's people that are underage watching the Super Bowl. That would cause much bigger legal problems for said full streaker. In fact,
don't know the answer to that question.
no, I can tell you because we were at a UCSB soccer game. It was the Final Four for soccer in the NCAA, and somebody decided to streak, and they happened to be friends with one of the guys that I'm friends with, and they ended up becoming an offender for streaking at that game.
Wow.
Because children were in attendance.
So what would happen if you went to a nude beach that was legal in that area? I mean, like,
it's a
I
nude
just,
beach.
all of this. Well, I'm just saying, though, it just doesn't make sense to me. 916-779-0929. It's another thing when you go to Europe in particular, right? Whether you're on the French Riviera or in Barcelona, and if you walk down the beach in Barcelona and you see people of all ages naked on the beach. And I'm talking about all shapes, all sizes, all age groups. I mean, if you're not used to it, it's a real trip.
That's just normal?
It's normal, yes.
Interesting.
Go to Barcelona and go to the beach, and you see 80-year-old individuals, 20-year-old individuals. You see thin people, fat people, beautiful people, ugly people, whatever. And yes, it's part of the culture. They don't even, it's not a big deal over there. Yes, very true.
Okay, so how do you handle that since you've obviously been there?
You know, it's just odd to me well, this is going to sound insensitive, so I better be careful. Like, you know, if you're not somebody that is presentable, put some freaking clothes on, would you please? You know what I mean? Put a bathing suit on.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't need like Mr. Universe and Miss America on the beach, okay? But, you know, like, have a little couth, all right? How about some common sense? Don't scare me. Don't make me like run like Usain Bolt off the beach for cover. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yes.
I mean, come on.
Yes, because you already have enough confidence if you're going to be going in the buff on the beach. Just throw a Speedo on. That's enough of a statement, right? That's enough of a statement.
It's just unbelievable to me. It really is.
How about A380 Suite? They found the UCSB video on YouTube. How about that?
Whoa.
Good
Help me out
job.
with this.
Of the
They found
streaker.
what?
The video I told you about.
Oh.
Yes. Because the streaker got away. They got over the fence and they took off like Forrest Gump, but they eventually got caught. So
unbelievable.
Anyways,
wow.
Good job.
So
A380.
anyway, yeah, if you go to Europe, if you make a trip to Europe and go to some of the beaches, just understand it's not like going to a beach in America. We are in this country, and I don't think that I'm out of line for saying this. We overreact to everything in this country, right? We overreact to things that I don't think we should overreact to. And what you're referring to is one of them. So what do I think when I travel? When I travel to different regions of the world, I expect the unexpected because I'm going into different cultures. And that's one reason why I do love traveling as much as I have in my life. I love seeing cultures and what is like something that is not a big deal in that country is unheard of in this country, or we don't see it, like such as the beaches that I was referring to, or, you know, going on the Southeast Asia, right? And hopping on a motorbike taxi without a helmet and cruising in and out of traffic and circumventing traffic and going through red lights. And like that, you wouldn't do that in America, right?
Yeah.
But over in Southeast Asia, when you go over there, it's a way of life. And you see, like, the most amazing thing is you see like beautiful women on the way to work or wherever they're going in short skirts and high heels, sitting saddleback on, you know what I mean by that, right? Like they're not directly behind the driver.
Right.
They're sitting on the side of the seat with their heels dangling down, and they're on their cell phone, all right, as the motorbike is driving 30, 40, 50 miles per hour going in and out of traffic. And I'm just like, it is unbelievable to see that. You would never see that in America.
It's all they know. It's how they have always got
That's right.
around.
It's unbelievable. So, yeah. All right. Keep that in your thought. Think that visualization. Good thing I don't have to talk for a living. Yeah. Think about that when we go to break. It's quite a sight. We'll come right back on Fox Sports Sacramento.
The new year is here, a fresh opportunity to tell people about your products and services so they know who to spend their money with. Fox Sports Radio has a Mount Rushmore of sports talk talent. Patrick, Cowherd, Gottlieb, and Sacramento's own Grant Napear, and they have an audience you can take to the bank. This is Fox Sports General Manager Kurt Bagelman. Sports Talk listeners are a unique, target-rich group of consumers. They're employed, they earn six-figure incomes, 2/3 own their own homes, and they listen to the radio longer. Let me repeat that. They listen longer, so your commercial message has more opportunity to be heard. It costs nothing to learn how a good strategy and a great schedule could help your business. So call me, 916-779-0914. 916-779-0914. Radio gets results, and we are here to help. Call 916-779-0914.
Maybe it could be said that New Year's resolutions are simply meant to be broken. If, like most people, you've already abandoned your promise to live healthier in 2026, you're not alone. But when it comes to being healthy and happy, it's never too late to hit that reset button and start living your best life. Sacramento Naturopathic Medical Center invites you to schedule a free healthy aging consultation with Dr. Dennis Godby, an accomplished author and expert in the art of aging gracefully. As we get older, things change. A lot of us will experience lower energy levels. Some of us may experience a lack of motivation. And for guys, the onset of middle age can mean a lower libido and oftentimes ED. These things can be caused by low testosterone levels, which can usually be safely and easily treated. Visit gettingbetternow.com today and schedule your free healthy aging consultation with Sacramento Naturopathic Medical Center located in Midtown. Living your best life is something you can get started on today. Visit gettingbetternow.com.
Listen up, guys. Are you experiencing any of the following? Fatigue, less drive, poor performance? If so, you may be one of the nearly 30 million men in the U.S. today dealing with ED. But did you know you don't have to pay hundreds for a prescription anymore? And you don't have to deal with the hassle of seeing the doctor or the embarrassment of going to the pharmacy for a certain pill. Now, with one free call, you can find out how Herbal Virility Max can help you feel like a man again. For over a decade, Herbal Virility Max has helped guys just like you put a smile back on their face with improved performance and drive. Call today and ask about our buy one, get one free offer.
800-690-8445. 800-690-8445. 800-690-8445. That's 800-690-8445.
Wouldn't it be great if life came with a remote control? You know, you could hit pause when you needed to, or hit rewind, like that time you knocked down that wasp's nest.
Uh-oh.
Or that time you forgot to roll up your windows in the car wash.
Fantastic.
Yeah, a remote control would have come in handy then. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes like managing your weight, getting active, stopping smoking, and eating healthier, you can stop prediabetes before it leads to type 2 diabetes. It's easy to learn your risk. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Life doesn't come with a remote control. Yikes! So you're on your own with the wasps. You have the power to take control of prediabetes. Visit doihaveprediabetes.org today. That's doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
See, when I talk about crazy things, I get a lot of crazy messages. They're like, next time you're in that part of the world, would you please post those pictures online of some beautiful girl or lady on a motorbike? Yes, I'll be happy to. The term is a side saddle, by the way. So there, Ryan, just letting you know, since you don't have a passport, you don't have any idea what I'm talking about when I mention these things. I'm trying to educate you. Do you understand?
Okay, well, let me educate you. You better take that picture casually. You don't want to be that weirdo taking the picture of the girl on the bike.
You know what, in Thailand or like Vietnam or Laos or Cambodia or like other regions of Southeast Asia, they don't really care. They really don't. It's not a big deal.
So different. It's insane. So cool, too.
Yeah. They'll actually turn around and smile for you. No, I'm serious. It's not a big deal.
I believe you.
Yeah.
See, I don't.
Again, we talk about different cultures, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I don't.
You wouldn't see that in America.
No, and I don't need a passport. I'll just throw on the VR headset and head over there.
No, you need a passport. All right. Would you please get a passport? I mean, what are you waiting for? Seriously.
This is going to be the subject of a rant. In fact, I'm going to throw myself under the bus for a rant topic today. So, but yes, you know what? We will give an update. Starting next week, now that football season's over, my schedule clears a little bit. We will give you a weekly update on my passport situation. So that way I'm accountable both to you and the great members of our audience. All right.
Unbelievable. All right. Hey, if you want to call the show, we also, in addition to travel, we are happy to talk about sports. Okay. we can do that. But I'm just pointing out to Ryan, and he mentioned, I mentioned that I can't consider what happened at the Super Bowl yesterday as a full-fledged streaker because the individual was not naked. And then we got into some legalities of, well, gee, it could increase the charges. And I'm like, well, what about when you go to a new, and then we got talking about Barcelona and we got talking about France and some other parts of the world where it's like not a big deal. It's like part of life. They don't even think anything of it. And then I talked about going over to Southeast Asia and getting on the back of motorbike taxis and seeing how people go to work. And now, beautiful women on side saddle back of the motorbike taxi on their cell phones with high heels and dresses. And, I mean, it's just unbelievable.
I mean, if you're the motorbike operator, are you worried about your liability when you're passengers?
No, there is no liability. It's not. You're thinking, don't think. No, when you travel abroad, you can't think the way you think in America. Okay.
Okay. All right.
So don't. You just like leave when you get your passport, Ryan.
Yes.
And you decide that you're going to travel internationally. Do not think like an American anymore. All right, because that doesn't mean anything where you're going.
Okay. All right. But if I go to your buddy's house, I'm going to think like an American because there's little vipers and king cobras around. So I need to take some of my American thought process.
Again, every country you go to has their, listen, if we live here in Northern California, there are rattlesnakes everywhere.
Yes, this is true.
Right? What's the difference?
Very true. Well, they give you a warning first off because they have a rattle.
Where they talk to you? Hey, stay away.
Yes, that's what the rattle is. That's exactly what it is. No, the best advice that you've given since I've been around you about travel is read the laws of the country that you're going to.
Yes. Absolutely.
We just had a Green Bay Packers player who thought they were legally carrying or checking a firearm into their baggage, and they got arrested for it.
And we have another NFL player who also was arrested over the weekend, and I talked about this in the first hour. I'm just curious. The allegations, so allegedly, we talk about different cultures, right?
Yeah.
I haven't seen this as part of a country's culture where a professional athlete, in this case, James Pierce, Atlanta Falcons rookie, who finished third, by the way, in Defensive Rookie of the Year voting, allegedly crashed his vehicle into his ex-girlfriend, WNBA player Rakia Jackson, not once, but multiple times. And, struck a police officer, allegedly, with the vehicle while evading arrest. All right. 5 felonies, 5, included aggravated battery with a deadly weapon, aggravated stalking, and aggravated battery of a law enforcement officer. Choose love, baby. Put that on the helmets. Please, Roger Goodell, can we have more choose love messaging around the NFL? Can you please put more messaging on the field instead of end racism and it takes all of us? Can we do some more, Roger? Can we put some more nonsense on the back of helmets, right? Unbelievable.
Sometimes I cringe because I think athletes only consider this snapshot compared to a normal life expectancy in which they are professional athletes and playing on the biggest stage to where it's like, oh, it doesn't matter if I have a felony on my record because I can just go into broadcasting, right? No,
and here's the other deal. He was driving, allegedly, a white Lamborghini SUV. Yeah, you know what? If I ever was fortunate enough to drive a Lamborghini, first of all, I didn't even know they made SUVs, but if I had one, I probably wouldn't be ramming another car. I'm probably not in my thought process.
Oh, Grant, he could just get another one.
Oh, okay.
You know?
Yeah.
Probably has 2. Probably has 7 for each day of the week. Different colors. It's insane.
Unbelievable. Wow.
How far above the law do you think you have to be? It's either that or you are that completely gone because you are under the influence of some type of either substance or a mental issue, whether it's anger problems.
It's unbelievable. And here's this, Ryan. After Jackson called the police, according to the affidavit, they saw Pierce standing on the outside of his SUV on the driver's side, standing again with the door open. An officer pulled a gun on Pierce and ordered him to get on the ground. Pierce got back into his car, closed the door. The officer opened the door, but Pierce shut it again. He locked his door and drove away. And while he was driving away, the SUV struck the officer on his left knee. And, I mean, it's unbelievable. They followed his vehicle until Pierce crashed at an intersection. He then got out of the car and fled on foot. Officers were able to finally catch up to him and apprehend him.
Look, we've seen people get into situations, law enforcement, that end a lot worse than that. That's insane.
Choose love, baby.
Insane.
Choose love. By the way, the Falcons, the team that Pierce plays for, issued a statement over the weekend saying, quote, they were gathering more information. Yeah.
Hey, Coach,
I bet you are.
Coach Stefanski, can you come here real quick? By the way, welcome.
Oh, my God. Oh, wow.
Nice to meet you.
Oh, my goodness gracious. So anyway, choose love, National Football League. Give me some choose love on the back of the helmets for opening day in the NFL in September. Can we get some choose love? Yeah, let's do it. Stop hate. Can we do that? Can we put stop hate all over the field again and on the back of helmets? Unbelievable. Grant's Rant is coming up right around the corner. Your phone calls as well. Kings and Pelicans. If you're really bored and you're in the New Orleans area, you could probably get a ticket for tonight's game for a couple of dollars. Just putting that PSA out for you if you're in the Bayou. Grant's Rant coming up next, right here on Fox Sports Sacramento.
Okay, we are running a car drive right now to help veterans all across America. So if you have an old car, truck, or van, even a motorcycle or an RV sitting around, you can right now give it away and help the vets. They really need your help. And your car will help support the vets and their families. And guess what? You even get a tax donation. Plus, we'll even come and pick up your car for free. And all you've got to do is pick up your phone right now and make a free call. Now is the perfect time to do something good for the vets. Give back to the vets right now for all they've done for this country. And your old car can really help them. So call the Veterans Car Donation Program right now for free pickup of your vehicle. Help the vets and help your taxes at the same time. Call right now.
800-598-0539. 800-598-0539. 800-598-0539. That's 800-598-0539.
Hey, it's Grant Napear from my friends at DAS Mechanical. Did you know most homeowners are changing their heating and air systems from gas to all electric? It's about getting more energy efficiency and saving a lot more money every month on energy bills. If your current heating and air system is 15 years or older, it may be time to consider a change. Call DAS Mechanical first. Nearly all of DAS's work is gas to electric whole system changeouts. Nick and his team, they're experts. They also have 0% financing and 24/7 availability if you ever have a heating emergency. Award-winning, locally owned. It's DAS Mechanical, serving their Sacramento and Placer County neighbors for years. Save more on your energy bills. Call, text, or chat at 530-591-1055 to find out more, or go to dasmechanical.org. That's dasmechanical.org.
I'm Dan Patrick, and this is Above the Noise. When a Super Bowl turns into a track meet, the praise flows easily. We hear about elite quarterback play, offensive geniuses, and the game is labeled an instant classic. When the score stays low and defenses take control, the conversation flips. Suddenly it's boring, sloppy, but don't fall for the trap. What we saw last night was not bad football. It was elite football. A defensive clinic delivered on the sport's biggest stage. The Seahawks defense put together a performance for the ages. 6 sacks, 3 forced turnovers, and they had a pick 6. 13 points allowed. Seattle's offense only found the end zone once, and the game was never truly in doubt because every New England possession felt uphill, every snap suffocating. That's the beauty of dominating defense. This was not a game decided by mistakes. Seattle dictated terms from the opening drive and never let go. And now the Seahawks are world champs, not because the game was flashy, but because it was mastered. I'm Dan Patrick, and this is Above the Noise. Tires matter. They're the only part of your vehicle that touches the road. Tread confidently with new tires from Tire Rack. Whether you're looking for expert recommendations or know exactly what you want, Tire Rack makes it really easy. Fast, free shipping, free road hazard protection, convenient installation options, and the best selection of General tires. Go to TireRack.com/Dan to see their General tire test results, tire ratings, and reviews, and be sure to check out all the special offers. TireRack.com, the way tire buying should be.
At Heartland Steakco, they take their bacon seriously, from their double smoked hickory to their honey jalapeno, which brings sweet and spicy together for the perfect combination, to their all-new bacon flavors like whiskey peppercorn with its smoky richness, to their applewood double smoked bacon that's smoked over real applewood chips. Ordering is easy at heartlandsteakco.com. And right now, when you spend $199.99 or more, you'll get free shipping plus 2 pounds of bacon with promo code BACON. Taste the Heartland different.
Grant's back. Join the conversation every weekday afternoon beginning at 3 p.m. KSAC 890 AM Olivehurst, K284CM 104.7 FM Sacramento.
It's time for Grant's Rant.
All right, Rhino, serve him up, buddy.
Grant, Bill Belichick made his first public appearance since being snubbed by the Hall of Fame. A lot of different speculation about behind the scenes people, lobbying, let's just say, for him not to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. Well, his girlfriend, Jordan Hudson, who has been the debate or the person of much debate around Belichick, in their first public appearance, she wore an Orchids of Asia massage shirt. Grant, if you don't know or you're wondering why Orchids of Asia sounds familiar, that was the massage shop that Patriots owner Robert Kraft was arrested at.
You're kidding me.
For soliciting prostitution
You're
in
kidding me.
2019.
You're kidding me, right?
Charges were later dropped.
You're kidding me.
No.
Whoa. That is what she was wearing?
Correct.
You are absolutely joking. You're making this up.
No.
Oh, my goodness. Wow.
No. And
Wow.
the hoodie is just right there next to her. Fine with it. Shots fired on Super Bowl weekend with Robert Kraft's team playing in the big game.
You sure that wasn't photoshopped or anything?
It's 100% legit. Should I just stop?
Well, I would like to hear your other choices, but you should stop.
I will send you this right now. So, all right, your second choice is somebody near me, maybe me, went on a recent vacation and learned a very hard lesson. You should never pay for your hotel with a debit card. It should always be charged with a credit card. Since you are a traveler, I would think you know how bad that mistake was. Last but not least, Travis Scott was courtside with Vivek Ranadive over the weekend for the Kings and the Cavs. Now, A-list celebrity, cool, not bad. Actually, a real celebrity row. But the back end after the game is what caught a lot of attention, where James Harden came running over and Travis Scott was running to him as they celebrated seeing each other, while Travis Scott's holding a personalized Kings jersey and Vivek is cheering the whole thing on. So
Vivek Ranadive is a jock sniffer. Vivek Ranadive is all about, are you famous or not? Do you have a name? If so, you can sit next to me and you can do whatever you want. If your name is John Doe, okay, or Jane Doe, you can't sit next to me because I need to be seen on camera with somebody that's famous. All right? If you're not famous, if you're not well known, you can't sit next to me. So only celebrities, only people that make me look like, oh, look at me. I'm with a famous person. That is Vivek Ranadive to a T. All right? You won't see Vivek with just a quote-unquote ordinary person. Nope, it has to be a person of stature. How freaking embarrassing is it to have the owner of the Sacramento Kings, currently the owner of the worst team in the NBA, a team that is recognized as a clown show all over professional sports by members of the national sports media, players that don't want to play there, coaches that don't want to be there. I can go on, and you are applauding that, and you're allowing that type of act to go on? Seriously? First of all, like, I don't care if your name is Travis Scott or what have you. You don't have the right to run onto the floor just because you're friends with a player. I know this, Brian. If you were at the game or a family member was at the game or a friend was at the game and you were sitting on the front row and you ran onto the court to try to embrace a player, you would be tackled, okay? And you would be probably handcuffed and escorted out of the arena. Even if the player acknowledged, no, it's okay, you probably still would get body slammed to the ground. But all of a sudden, because this guy is sitting next to the owner of the Sacramento Kings, it's okay to make a mockery of the fact that that team just beat your team and you're the owner and you're sitting there accepting that? You should be outraged if you're a Kings fan. I mean, how low can you go as a franchise? Your record is bad enough. You have a non-NBA coach. You have moves that have been made in the front office that don't make sense. To be fair, some have been very good, like a Dylan Cardwell. You can't argue with that. But I mean, really? Seriously? This is what we're coming to now? I've seen a lot of comments on social media. I've actually seen comments from Kings fans that have been very upset and somewhat irate about this. Hey, have you noticed, Vivek, how many empty seats were at the recent home games? Maybe that should catch your eye. Maybe you should go and walk around the upper deck with Travis Scott. Although I don't know, maybe you're both too cool to make it to the upper deck, to go over and talk to the fans. A lot of empty seats, both upstairs and downstairs. How's that suit you? This is an embarrassment for the franchise. Another embarrassment on a long list of embarrassments that don't ever seem to stop. It's a joke. It's an absolute joke, and it's embarrassing. And that's my rant for today. I would like to rant on the first one, though. Are you serious that she is really wearing, and it's been verified 100%, the massage shop that Robert Kraft was, what was the year? 2018, 2019? Good Lord. I mean, are you kidding me? That is unbelievable. And Bill Belichick just allows that? I mean, are you kidding me? Grow a pair, would you please?
I mean, Grant, here's the thing. It's not like Robert Kraft was arrested at the Hard Rock Cafe. You know what I mean? Like where, okay, a lot of people go to that restaurant, they buy the merch. You've got to look pretty hard to find a T-shirt from that massage shop.
Oh, my gosh. I mean, that is unbelievable. Probably have to have one made.
I would think so. I would think that massage shop's probably out of business as well.
Either that or they have a line outside the door, either or. I'm not really sure. But, I mean, give me a break. That's unbelievable to me. Incredible. That, by the way, the spa was in Jupiter, Florida, and the charges were later dropped. But, I mean, good Lord. Unbelievable. How can you allow? I mean, what is going on? Listen, I don't care about the age difference. I mean, I don't really care. Makes no difference to me. If you're an adult and you want to be with another adult, go for it. As long as it doesn't affect my life, go for it. Do whatever you want. I don't care. I don't care if he's in his 70s and she's in her 20s. Good. You know what? Is he happy? Fine. Is she happy? Fine. I don't care. That stuff doesn't matter to me. But that, you're in the stands with a shirt, all right? I mean, you got to be kidding me. I mean, like, some things you just can't make up. You really can't. Ryan, some things you just cannot make up. You just can't make that up. I mean, really.
Grant, it's kind of a brilliant burn. If we're being honest.
I mean, it is.
Jordan Hudson has not done many things right in the public light with Bill Belichick, but I think she's getting more love.
Maybe
for this
she works
one
there. Maybe she got a job there. Maybe she's an employee there, and she's wearing it because she's representing the spa that she works at.
Well,
now.
Grant, that'd be quite the commute from Chapel Hill, North Carolina.
Well, hey,
to
I'm
Florida.
sure that Bill's got private jets that they fly on. It's probably not a big deal.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Just have a pilot on standby.
And maybe they've expanded the business in Chapel Hill, North Carolina.
You know what? That's a great point. I did not see a location on that shirt.
That's correct. So maybe they're expanding.
Oh, my goodness. I mean, it's pretty good. That's really good. But for that to be your first public appearance, too, after you, because Grant, public sentiment for once was like, oh my gosh, Bill Belichick, we feel bad for you, you know?
Oh my gosh. Again, there are just certain things you cannot make up. Oh, wow. Wow. By the way, we've got this is for you, Ryan. Grant, Ryan needs to get his passport because we need to go to the Singapore F1 race. We can fly on Singapore Airlines. 2, we can stay at the Singapore airport, go to the race. My travel comment of the day. Well, you know what? You get the tickets for us. Good luck getting 2 tickets or 3 tickets to go to the F1 race. So I'll put that on you. All right. And we can stay at the at an airport hotel because it will cost an arm or leg to stay anywhere near downtown. And yes, we could fly on Singapore Airlines. And yes, we can hang out at the airport, which I would be more than happy to do. But yeah, let's go to the F1 race halfway around the world. Good luck getting the tickets for that. You let me know how much that cost you. And I'm more than happy to entice Ryan to get his passport. And we can go on one of the longest flights in the world to Singapore to go to the race. Yes.
Lynn,
I'm all on board for that, but you got to get the ticket.
Yeah, Lynn, I don't need a hotel room. I'll just stay in one of those little pods in the airport.
Yeah, and the pods at Changi Airport are nicer than most hotel rooms, so no problem.
There you go.
Yeah, incredible. And I'll tell you what we'll do, all right? Just to be a good sport about this, I will have I will go online and I will buy some shirts from the spa in Jupiter, Florida that we can wear at the race. Okay, and maybe we'll be shown on the international TV coverage.
Oh my gosh, it's a rat race right now to produce as many of those shirts as you can right now. If you're a clothing person or an online guy that makes your own shirts,
Wow.
those will sell like hotcakes, especially in Seattle.
Wow. All right, standing room only at the Smoothie Arena, or whatever the heck it's called, in New Orleans. I forgot what the name of the building is called, but the game is beginning. The huge tilt tonight where you want the Sacramento Kings to lose the game.
Yeah, and we have boots on the ground. Mr. Moss is there, actually, taking in the Kings and the Pelicans from the Smoothie Kings Center.
Boy, he must have a really boring life. Wow.
How
much do you think you know what? Look it up online real quick when we go to when you get a minute. You don't have to do it right now, and see what you could get a ticket for to go to the game.
Somebody in the chat, I forget who it was, so don't get mad at me. They got tickets to this game. They said it last week in the chat. They're sitting one row behind it's either the Kings or the Pelicans, obviously, their bench, and it was in the neighborhood of, I want to say, $200, but I'll check right now.
Okay. All right. By the way, here's what I don't understand from fans. This is from the 937. Raiders have officially announced Clint Kubiak as their coach. As a fan, I think I can finally say it seems they're headed in a good direction. Well, you probably said the same thing when they hired Pete Carroll. How did that work out? You know, I don't pay attention to any of that nonsense. 5-year deal is what it's reported, by the way. But that doesn't mean anything. The guy's never been a head coach before. Why do you think that all of a sudden you're heading in the right direction? I mean, come on. Come on.
And here's the other thing. I think he did a really good job this year calling the plays for Seattle, but you're also the offensive coordinator for Seattle that is built around a really good defense. It's a lot of running the ball. It's a lot of pretty direct passes, you know.
Well, I know that Robert Saleh did a great job as a defensive coordinator from the 49ers and then got fired as the Jets head coach. I know that Norv Turner had many great years as an offensive coordinator and couldn't coach his way out of a paper bag in the NFL. I mean, I can go on and on about coordinators. How did Aaron Glenn do in his first year with the Jets? And we can just, again, continue on and on. That stuff doesn't mean anything to me because the reality is that being a coordinator and being a head coach, just ask Josh McDaniels, the offensive coordinator of the New England Patriots, are two separate things.
It's a great point. It's a great point. I still think Saleh to the Titans is so bizarre.
Why?
It just doesn't see Saleh, because he already went through that where it's not a very good team. I get that you like Cam Ward. He did his best this season, but not many guys like Saleh that are going from a coordinator to a head coach job, they don't usually get a third chance if they fail. And I just would have thought he would have held out for a better job, in my opinion.
All right. If you want to call the show, 916-779-0929. Speaking of ticket prices, I've stopped supporting the Sacramento Kings, but I've been spending my money on the Stockton Kings. They're the number one seed in the Western Conference. They play like a team, and they're fun to watch and much cheaper. Ryan, you would agree with that, don't you?
100%. 110%. The brand of basketball, the stuff that Doug Christie's talking about, and this is no shot at him, they do down there. They pick up 94 feet. If you make a basket or the other team scores, they're pushing it right back up the court at you. Just a very, very well-ran franchise. And Scott Perry recognized that when I asked him the question during the press conference last week.
916-779-0929. That's 916-779-0929. Forgive me, it's just having a brain freeze. Who's the coach of Stockton?
Will Scott.
Okay.
And here's the other thing. They've had 3 different head coaches in the last 3 years, and their success has continued to go up trajectory-wise. So you get to the Western Conference Finals under Lindsey Harding, who moves on to the Los Angeles Lakers. Last year, you win the championship. I forget the name of the coach off the top of my head. Forgive me on that. And now this year, you're trending that way again with your third coach in 3 years, Will Scott.
For the Kings, speaking of Stockton Kings, now we go to the Sacramento Kings. They're starting 5 tonight. DeRozan, Achua, Reyno, Clifford, and Westbrook. So if the game is close in the fourth quarter and you're rooting for the Kings to lose, make sure that Russell Westbrook is on the floor and have him truck up threes in the final couple of minutes, and that should nail the defeat for the Sacramento Kings. But they're leading right now with nearly 5 minutes gone by 3 points. All right? All right, so ticket prices for the game tonight on the lower level. All right? For as low, all right, if you want to go behind the basket in the lower level, $19. All right? If you want to be like at midcourt on the lower level, $78. And if you want to be right behind the scores table, or the benches, I should say, well, I guess it would be the scores table, and again, near midcourt, $92 to see the Kings and the Pelicans at the Smoothie King Center. The only good thing about going to New Orleans for me was at halftime, they would give you free smoothies. There was a lady that would walk around with smoothies on a tray, and you could grab what you wanted, which I always look forward to when I was in New Orleans announcing the game. I was like, yeah, I'll take one of those.
That's a nice little refreshment at halftime. Not too heavy.
It was great.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, it was great. 916-779-0929. That's 916-779-0929. The Kings, all right, and the Pelicans underway in the first quarter. All right, by the way, just to compare that, if you want to go to the next home game at Sacramento, and if you want to sit, well, here we go. Up top, you can get tickets for as low as $22. Or you could go to Costco. What was the deal that Costco had a week or two ago? I can't remember, but it was a pretty good deal.
I think it was 2 upper level tickets for $69, and I think they were towards the lower portion of the upper level.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
The Kings just ran a promotion this past week, or last week, I should say. They called it, Grant, do you know what 6-7 is?
No.
Okay. I didn't know until Christmas time, but my son knew, who's 11 years old, going on 12. It's like this little dance. It's where you take your hands and one goes up, the other goes down, yada, yada, yada. Well, because it was February 6th and February 7th, they ran a 6-7 special where you could get lower level tickets for $67.
Wow. Okay. Well, I think there are going to be a lot of empty seats for the rest of the season. That is for sure. All right, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was going to say the last game, which was singles night, which was interesting. It was a weird idea, but the Kings did a good job of it, in my opinion. The building was full. I shouldn't say it was full, but there was more people there than the night before. But when the Kings were really scrapping and playing well and Neek was on fire, it was loud. It was really loud.
Better than Hello Kitty night?
Yes. Better than Hello Kitty night.
All right.
Yeah. Believe it or not.
Believe it or not.
No, Grant, I had no idea.
You said it was singles night?
Singles night. Yes. So if you were, or you are single and you were at the game, you could have your picture taken at the grand entrance and put on a board that remained at the grand entrance, and other singles could come by and grab your picture. I don't know if your information was on it, but if you were single and did that, you also wore a different wristband. And at the end of the night, they had a reception after the game in the Sierra Nevada Lounge.
Interesting.
Wow. The only reason I know that is because I went down to say bye to Keon, and it sounds like there's a club going on above us an hour and 15 after the game.
What did you take away from talking with Keon afterwards?
He's so
happy.
Yes, he is so at peace with leaving Sacramento. Now that doesn't mean
happy for
that
him.
he doesn't love Sacramento and the fan base. He absolutely does. This place will have a special place in his heart because this is where he developed. This is where he was signed as an undrafted rookie, but it's on to better things in a better situation. And
he put a nice thing out on Instagram.
Yeah, he's very grateful for all of you that are Kings fans and the organization for, taking a chance on him and developing him. But man, is he excited to be in Cleveland. So
somebody said, do the fans get those free smoothies too? No, they do not. The fans have to pay for the smoothies. Just the members on the press row were able to get the smoothies. Probably good marketing. They probably think we'd talk about it on the air.
Yeah, there's certain things in the press room now that are known league wide that you better get down there and get them because they only put a limited amount out, specifically the cookies. All the other teams coming in, their press people, the media teams, they know that the cookies and the popcorn are the best at the G1C. And I agree, they are.
We'll come right back. 916-779-0929. We'll update you on the Kings and the Pelicans and more. That's next here on Fox Sports Sacramento.
We are Fox.
Hey, it's Grant Napear from my friends at DAS Mechanical. Did you know most homeowners are changing their heating and air systems from gas to all electric? It's about getting more energy efficiency and saving a lot more money every month on energy bills. If your current heating and air system is 15 years or older, it may be time to consider a change. Call DAS Mechanical first. Nearly all of DAS's work is gas to electric whole system changeouts. Nick and his team, they're experts. They also have 0% financing and 24/7 availability if you ever have a heating emergency. Award-winning, locally owned. It's DAS Mechanical, serving their Sacramento and Placer County neighbors for years. Save more on your energy bills. Call, text, or chat at 530-591-1055 to find out more, or go to dasmechanical.org. That's dasmechanical.org.
You've been saying you're going to pay better attention to your home's honeydews. Check one off your list right now by calling Gabrud Services to schedule a 12-point inspection of your home's electrical system. The safe rule of thumb is every 5 years for an inspection. If it's been 5 years or more, call Gabrud's now. A qualified technician will provide a thorough inspection of the electrical system to ensure it's safe or alert you to potential problems. At Gabrud's, electrical work is all we do. We are the area's recognized experts for anything electrical, and our number one priority is ensuring your home and family are safe. You've been saying you'll pay better attention to your home. Stop saying it. Make the call to Gabrud's. Talk with a real person and schedule your 12-point inspection today. Gabrud's, locally owned for more than 30 years. Gubrud's.
Call the good dudes at Gabrud's. Gubrud's. Gabrud's.com.
If you need a new set of top brand tires, downtown Ford Sacramento has great news. For a limited time, we'll beat any competitor's price on a set of 4 tires. Then, kick you down a mail-in rebate of up to $150, and that includes major brands like Michelin, BF Goodrich, Uniroyal, Hankook, and more. Some restrictions apply. Visit downtownfordsacramento.com for details. Downtown Ford Sacramento on Howe Avenue. Online at downtownfordsacramento.com.
Homeowners, for any electrical project you need done, trust the good dudes at Gabrud's. Locally owned, 5-star service experts, always transparent prices and solutions. Say goodbye to your electrical issues. Call Gabrud's or visit Gabrud's.com. Gubrud's.
My retired friends are going back to work. I'm worried Social Security won't be enough. BenefitsCheckup.org connected me to $1,000 a month for food and medicine. It's free. Visit BenefitsCheckup.org today.
Supported by the U.S. Administration for Community Living.
Kings and Pelicans, 3:18 left in the opening quarter. 21-20 New Orleans. 916-779-0929. Elsewhere in the NBA tonight, the Timberwolves and the Hawks, 24-21 Minnesota. At the half, the Pistons lead the Hornets 61-57. Bulls and Nets tied at 41 early second. The Heat lead the Jazz 38-35. Again, 41-36 Magic over the Bucks. A little bit later, Cavs, Nuggets, Grizzlies, Warriors, Thunder, Lakers, and the Blazers and the 76ers. That is your NBA schedule. So you've got the Kings, again, once we keep talking about their lineup, shorthanded, their starting lineup of Clifford, Westbrook, Reynaud, Achua, and DeRozan, who leads the Kings with 6 here in the early going. Cardwell has come into the game, and Carter, the first 2 reserves for Sacramento in the first quarter. And again, that score is 21-20. And, we talk about the game. What I'm looking for is I want to see if Nick Clifford can follow up on his outstanding game that he had against Cleveland. So that's something. And I'm looking to see Devin Carter, who I thought has been playing very well. What he needs to do, obviously, is, make some more threes. He's only played a minute, and so he doesn't have any numbers other than 1 assist. Those are 2 of the things that I'm looking for. Ryan, what about you?
Yeah, I'm looking for cohesion. I'm looking for aggressiveness, confidence instead of being, a little bit shy like Neek. I want to see him, like you laid out, follow up on that. Devin Carter, I want to see him be a little bit more decisive with his shot. He looks hesitant.
Yep.
So a lot of things like that. And I know he's been a little defensive because he's made some changes to his shot. He hates being asked about the arc. It's down a little bit this year, which is fine. But, just have some confidence stepping into it.
Yeah, and I think that defenses are they're baiting him. They're saying, hey, we're not guarding you, so you need to take the 3, and he's thinking about it, and I'm with you.
Yep. Spot on. Now, the defense is doing the same thing to Russell Westbrook. They've been doing it all season. So I would think that Devin tells me something that Devin, you just made a great point, because Devin's looking to make the right play, and sometimes Russ is looking to make a play.
Again, Devin Carter is into the game currently with 3 minutes left in the first quarter. And again, Sacramento is trailing 21-20. They are 2 games better in the standings, or I should say the Pelicans are 2 games up on the Kings in the standings. So, if you're looking at ping pong balls and everything, you just got to call it the way it is. You want the Kings to lose this game.
Yeah,
that's where we're at now in the season.
You do, indeed. And I want to see also how Dylan Cardwell defends at the rim against Zion Williamson, because that's a real test. That's a guy in this league that is he's different. He's a bowling ball coming down the lane at you. So that'll be good. But yeah, you want the Kings to lose. I was wondering about last game. This is a big Doug McDermott house. We respect what he brings to the team behind the scenes and at practice and as a professional. Were you surprised that he was in the rotation last game?
Well, there's so many guys that are not playing. So, no, I mean, you only have so many players to choose from.
Mm-hmm.
So I wasn't surprised.
Okay.
No, because they had so many players that were not playing and they were out of the lineup.
Good enough.
Yeah.
I didn't have a problem with either.
Yeah. I mean, we're at that point of the season where with so many players being out, you got to put somebody on the floor, right? And, I was saying one thing about Doug, and we had him on the show a couple of months ago. Listen, no one ever talks about Doug and all of that. He is a really good voice to have in the locker room for other guys. There's nobody on the team that doesn't really like and respect Doug McDermott.
Yes, sir. He was great when we had him on before the season.
Yeah, he was.
He was awesome. Yeah. It's funny because the texter, whoever sent in the message about Stockton, you're kind of looking at minus Precious Achua and I guess you do have to say Neek Clifford. You're looking at Stockton, like a high-level G League team on the floor right now for the Kings between Devin Carter, where these guys are at with their development, if that makes any sense.
Plowden.
Plowden, Cardwell to a degree.
Yep.
These are the minutes you need to get on the big stage, but that also, to me, brings up better chemistry when everybody's sharing the ball and not trying to call their own number. And that's the unit you have out there now.
Yeah. 916-779-0929. If you missed hour number 1, it will be replayed at 6 o'clock. Speaking of the Kings, we will be on our post-game show with Jerry Reynolds, Ryan and Sacktown, and myself. That's going to be coming your way roughly probably 7:15, 7:30 this evening, as it was a 5 o'clock start. And again, it's a close game, 25-22. The Pelicans lead the Kings with 90 seconds left in the first quarter of play. So someone's got to win tonight. I do know that. And the Kings have lost 12 in a row. 12 in a row they've lost. So they're going to have to win one of these games, right, Ryan? Are they going to lose every game the rest of the year? I don't think so.
Well, Grant, this would be the Sacramento era franchise record, correct? For a losing streak tonight?
Yes, it would be. Yep. And that's the only era I care about. I don't care about what happened before they got to Sacramento.
Yeah, poor Michael found that out on the post-game show.
No one cares what happened to the team before they got here.
Yeah.
Seriously.
No, I'm with you. I think they lose tonight. I think they probably lose.
To Utah?
Yes. Yeah. This is probably going to go into, I think this goes into the All-Star break. You?
Well, yeah, they only have tonight's game in Utah, and and then you get to the break. So yeah, probably. I mean, I think the game that if they're going to win any of these games this week, it will be tonight.
Agreed. I don't know. The Pelicans are just so athletic. Their record, for as bad as their record is, it doesn't accurately describe their athleticism because there's a ton of it.
Yeah. And I'll tell you, when Zion Williamson is on the floor and healthy, that guy is a dominant player, isn't he? I mean, he is just a force to deal with.
Yeah, it's interesting. You're spot on. It's interesting that's a name that we have not or did not hear at the trade deadline once. Not a single time.
Yeah, well, I don't know if anyone would take a chance on a guy that is out a lot more than he plays. So I, for one, if I were GM, there's no way that I would go for Zion Williamson. It's not worth the risk. It's just not.
Would you go for him over John Morant?
Probably, because I probably would.
Because there's a little gray area about whether it was the Pelicans not letting him play back-to-backs.
Yeah, the other aspect is if they are on the floor, I think Williamson is a much more effective player, even though they play different positions. But I think Williamson is still a guy that is a game changer when he's on the floor.
Absolutely. Absolutely is. How do you
Again,
guard
916. What's that, buddy?
How do you guard him? If you're bigger than him, he's usually stronger.
Yeah.
And if you're quicker than him, you just can't do it.
You know, it's beautiful. I'm watching the away feed, and they're dropping parachutes from the upper deck, and they're showing the parachutes, and there's nobody in the arena in the upper deck. Like, the whole thing is completely empty. And I'm like, I mean, literally empty. I'm like, why would you show that for? There's nobody in the upper deck of the arena tonight. It's empty.
I love that you get
fans sprinkled around.
I love that you get to listen to fellow Bowling Green alum Antonio Daniels.
Yes.
It's pretty cool.
Good old Antonio. Yes, indeed. Hey, we'll wrap up the show when we come back. Final segment. We invite your input, whether it's on the text line or the calls at 916-779-0929. They're dropping T-shirts down, and no, they're not the massage spa in Jupiter, Florida, to the best of my knowledge. They're different shirts than that, I believe. We'll wrap up the show. We'll wrap up the show when we come back here on Fox Sports Sacramento.
We are the
Okay, we are running a car drive right now to help veterans all across America. So if you have an old car, truck, or van, even a motorcycle or an RV sitting around, you can right now give it away and help the vets. They really need your help. And your car will help support the vets and their families. And guess what? You even get a tax donation. Plus, we'll even come and pick up your car for free. And all you've got to do is pick up your phone right now and make a free call. Now is the perfect time to do something good for the vets. Give back to the vets right now for all they've done for this country. And your old car can really help them. So call the Veterans Car Donation Program right now for free pickup of your vehicle. Help the vets and help your taxes at the same time. Call right now.
800-598-0539. 800-598-0539. 800-598-0539. That's 800-598-0539.
You've been saying you're going to pay better attention to your home's honeydews. Check one off your list right now by calling Gabrud Services to schedule a 12-point inspection of your home's electrical system. The safe rule of thumb is every 5 years for an inspection. If it's been 5 years or more, call Gabrud's now. A qualified technician will provide a thorough inspection of the electrical system to ensure it's safe or alert you to potential problems. At Gabrud's, electrical work is all we do. We are the area's recognized experts for anything electrical, and our number one priority is ensuring your home and family are safe. You've been saying you'll pay better attention to your home. Stop saying it. Make the call to Gabrud's. Talk with a real person and schedule your 12-point inspection today. Gabrud's, locally owned for more than 30 years. G-U-B-R-U-D-S.
Call the good dudes at Gabrud's. G-U-B-R-U-D-S. Gabrud's.com.
Hey, it's Grant Napear from my friends at DAS Mechanical. Did you know most homeowners are changing their heating and air systems from gas to all electric? It's about getting more energy efficiency and saving a lot more money every month on energy bills. If your current heating and air system is 15 years or older, it may be time to consider a change. Call DAS Mechanical first. Nearly all of DAS's work is gas to electric whole system changeouts. Nick and his team, they're experts. They also have 0% financing and 24/7 availability if you ever have a heating emergency. Award-winning, locally owned. It's DAS Mechanical, serving their Sacramento and Placer County neighbors for years. Save more on your energy bills. Call, text, or chat at 530-591-1055 to find out more, or go to dasmechanical.org. That's dasmechanical.org.
Are you SAC Alert? Have you signed up to receive emergency alerts via phone, text, email, or app? Well, what are you waiting for? Winter is coming, and that means there is potential for storms and flooding in our county. Don't get caught off guard or left in the cold. Get urgent storm evacuation and shelter information immediately sent directly to your device. Sign up today at sacramento-alert.org. Again, that's sacramento-alert.org. It's free, quick, and easy to do, and can literally be a lifesaver.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. Beating in rhythm to the world you've created. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzz driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Final segment, 916-779-0929. Somebody asked me how much blame would I put on Josh McDaniels for the Pats' offensive struggle in the Super Bowl. Very little, actually. I mean, I have to give really all of the credit to the Seattle defense. So it wasn't like New England's offense was great in the previous playoff games against Houston and then Denver. So, no, I give all the credit to Seattle. Somebody also asked me, because they weren't a fan of the Patriots and their team hasn't been in the Super Bowl, what's it like as a fan when you lose the Super Bowl? I've only experienced that once, being a New York Giants fan, and I expected them to lose when they played the Baltimore Ravens in the early 2000s. So it really wasn't that hard for me because I just didn't see with the matchups there was any way they would win that game. So it wasn't that big of a deal for me, personally. I would think Ryan would have a different opinion when they had the ball at the 1 yard line and didn't give the ball to Lynch and instead threw it and it was picked off and it cost them the game with the interception by Butler. I would think that Ryan might have a different opinion than I would.
Shock. Did that just happen? No, you
I don't
really
think
are.
you ever get over that.
No, it really is. You're thinking through. It's like, how could that happen?
Yep.
Because selfishly, and I think we all do this sometimes as fans, we put the cart before the horse. It's like, I'm looking at them with the ball at the 1 yard line. I'm thinking worst case scenarios that don't include interceptions, right? And you just see that happen because with that team, Grant, that was built around running the ball with Marshawn Lynch, imagine if betting was illegal or was legal back then in the States.
Oh, wow.
You probably would have gotten like plus 1,000 odds if you chose the Seahawks to throw the ball from the 1 yard line.
Yep. Great point. Amazing. By the way, the Pelicans have taken control of this game in the second quarter. They're on a 9-0 run, and the Kings have already turned it over 8 times with 2 minutes gone by in the second quarter. It is 38-26 in favor of the Pelicans.
Drew Eubanks sighting.
By the way, the famous spa that Kraft was at closed permanently after the raid, according to this message from the 916. So Bill's girlfriend probably had that shirt made. Funny story.
How
about that?
Your reaction to that was so great. There's not many times where it's like, I can't wait to get off the air to go listen to something.
I can't believe that. No, seriously. I with AI and photoshopping and everything else, I'm like, well, that can't be
right. And you ran through that mental checklist out loud. You're like, oh, AI. No, it's not AI. Photoshop. No.
Come on. Seriously.
I mean, she's had to have been sitting on that shirt for a minute.
Of course.
She's been waiting for the right time to pull that out.
And she's wearing it knowing full well what the reaction's going to be and the publicity around it. And Bill has no problem with that. It's embarrassing.
After Robert Kraft also does not get into the hall?
It's embarrassing. Seriously.
Okay, is this her, honest question, do you think this is a lot of her influence on Bill, or is this just Bill coming out through her?
There's a thing called common sense that I always go to.
How do you spell
and like
that?
If my wife, or in this case girlfriend, and I'm a public figure and I'm well known by everyone in the country, I'm not allowing her to wear that. I'm going to go, you can't wear that. I understand you might try to be funny, but no, that's not happening. You need to change. Like, I'm demanding that. I'm not asking. I'm just telling her you're not wearing that. And if you do wear that, I'm not sitting next to you. Seriously. Like, there's a thing called, like, etiquette. There's a thing called common sense. There's a thing called, like, stop it, right? Like, why would you want that attention? Seriously.
Because it's attention.
Yeah, but, like, what kind of attention is that? Where people are going to make fun of you?
I just think these two, Belichick and Robert Kraft, there's a strong dislike that's probably gotten stronger since Belichick has left. And, you know, I could see Bill signing off on that. He's got a weird sense of humor.
Yes, he does. Yes, he does. What would have been even more of a bizarre is if he were wearing the shirt.
Ew. Yeah, come get a massage here
Right.
at Orchids of Asia. Look at these strong hands.
Oh, my gosh.
No.
Wow. Yeah. How about that?
I'm telling you. She's
I mean, sometimes, like, I'm at a loss for words. That left me, we're like, you got to be kidding me.
she's getting more love nationally
Oh, my God.
than hate for that.
Incredible. 916-779-0929. I don't know if I could wear a shirt like that if my spouse, partner, call it whatever you want, worked for an individual. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't know if I could do that. I don't know. I mean, maybe.
Well, okay, that's a great point because he's the head football coach of the University of North Carolina Tar Heels. Is that over the line?
Well, I think if North Carolina could go back and do it all over again, there's no way they would have hired Bill Belichick.
Absolutely.
All right? It's been nothing but a mess.
When he came out, by the way, and this was a possibility, and you had all these different talking heads nationally saying, oh my gosh, I would be sending my kid to school there because he's going to run it like a pro program and we're going to get him ready for the NFL draft. What the heck do you think all the other top D1 programs are doing? They're doing exactly that. It was just this massive overreaction.
Yeah. Somebody texted me that they're on their way to the Olympics, and then after they're going to Switzerland, they wanted some recommendations. There's nothing bad about Switzerland, but a lot would depend on the weather this time of year. Go to Zermatt, but, again, if the weather's not good, you won't see the Matterhorn, but you have to go to Zermatt. I would highly recommend that. Go to the Jungfrau region. You got to see Lauterbrunnen, Wengen, Grindelwald, and, take the cog rail train up to the Jungfrau and the Ice Palace. It is unfreaking believable. You got to do that Jungfrau trip. So do that. That is definitely worth it. Again, a lot depends on the weather. Lucerne is beautiful. I don't particularly care for the big cities as much, like Geneva and Zurich. Again, they have a lot of culture. It's not bad, but I like going to the smaller towns like Wengen, like Grindelwald. I like going to Zermatt is incredible. If you like skiing, Stadt is great. It's a great place to ski. It's very famous. You can ski pretty much anywhere. The Alps are pretty much around you. The skiing in Grindelwald is incredible, right near the Eiger, which is one of the most famous mountains in the world. And the skiing in that region, it's called the Jungfrau region, where you have the Jungfrau and the Eiger. The skiing there is unfreaking believable. I mean, you'll love it. So those are just some of the options. You won't see Ryan over there, though. He doesn't have his passport, so he would be unable to meet you over there if you so desired.
Why do I need a passport? I can go to Disneyland to see the Matterhorn.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think it's a little bit different. Yes. I think it's a little bit different. You know what's really cool? If you get up early in the morning, you can actually see all of the flashlights on the side of the Matterhorn from all of those that are climbing up the mountain. And when I went to the Matterhorn for the first time with my mother, we hiked all the way up to the base hut, which is not an easy hike. And we actually slept overnight in the same hut as the climbers that were leaving the next morning. And there are three basic areas to climb up the Matterhorn. The most of them climb up what they call the ridge, okay? And that is where you'll see the vast majority of the climbers. But when we were there were two Japanese climbers, and they went in the other direction from those that were climbing up the ridge of the Matterhorn, and they climbed up the face of the Matterhorn, which is where a lot of the deaths have occurred. And we were just blown away to watch them go out, and you could see some lights on the Matterhorn face. We were blown away by that. That was very, very difficult. But anyway, the Matterhorn has been climbed for generations, and it is one of the most picturesque, most famous mountains in the world. And if you go to Zermatt, again, you could go to Zermatt and not see it, because if the weather is, if it's fogged in or cloudy or whatever, you might not see the Matterhorn. But when you can see the Matterhorn, it's unbelievable. It's beautiful. It's really nothing like it.
Is it similar to Everest where there's a season to climb it, or is it year round?
That's a great question. I think I don't think you climb the Matterhorn in the winter. I think it's more of a summer climb. I think the weather and the storms that come in and everything else might preclude you, plus the ice and the snow actually on the mountain.
Yeah.
So I would think, I don't know the answer to that question, but I think it's mostly in the summer months.
There's been a lot of discussion about climbing Everest and the business it's become,
Yes,
and
yeah, of course,
climbers.
it's extremely controversial.
Yeah, climbers that are not experienced enough or
Yes.
should not be on the mountain.
Yeah, and they're giving up their lives in exchange for money, and the amount of deaths have been incredible. Yes, I've seen a lot of documentaries on that.
Yeah. The Sherpas, to me,
Yes, the
are
Sherpas.
just different, man.
Yes.
To
Yes.
know a mountain like that and to be climbing it all the time, to secure ropes for tourists, it's insane. If something goes wrong, send a Sherpa up. Man.
I told you when I was in Switzerland, that's where I ran into David Stern.
Yes,
He
you're right.
loved it. That was his sanctuary. That was his oasis. So much so that he asked not to say that I saw him there, because he didn't want people to know that he went to Switzerland, because nobody knew him there, and it was his sanctuary. So he went there every single year. I just sent you some pictures of the Matterhorn. The second one was the view from the hotel room.
Holy
that we were in.
moly.
Yeah, that was the view from our hotel room.
Was it hard to get a room there?
No. I mean, if you do it in advance, no. There's chalets, hotels, Airbnbs, very available. Yes, no
It's
problem at all.
incredible.
No problem at all.
I'm looking at this picture with the Matterhorn in the background. Beautiful day. You got some clouds around the Matterhorn, but then you've got all these bright, different colored flowers directly in front near you in the picture. It's crazy.
And when the sun would set or come up, the view was unbelievable. But even in the summertime, you have to understand, there's a great deal of snow on the Matterhorn. So with that said, I can't imagine climbing it in the winter. I don't know if it would be possible to do so.
Very interesting. And where does the Matterhorn rank in terms of the highest peaks in the world?
That I don't know. Obviously, Everest is number one. I'm not really sure about that. I don't know. Yeah. So you can get your passport. You know, I think with your knee replacements and your hip replacements, climbing the Matterhorn may not be a possibility for you, but you can go watch people climb it, okay?
Grant, I'll barely be able to get through security, my friend.
It's a great point. You do have a problem flying, don't you?
No, I don't have a problem flying. It's just I get a little bit of extra attention, even though I tell them that I have metal hips, and they check beyond using the wand. So it's just not a fun process to always go through. That's it.
All right. Just so you know, I'm sending you a picture of the hotel that I ran into David Stern at, just so you know how quaint and in the middle of nowhere. This was in a village of only 1,000 people, where David Stern used to go with his wife every single summer for his vocation, who I think is to this day still the best commissioner that we've ever had in sport.
What are the odds?
Yeah. Thank you. Look at that hotel in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah. Did you just double take and think,
I did.
That's a doppelganger? There's no
I'm
way.
like, there's no way that's David Stern. She's like, that is David Stern. Because we had just been with him a couple months earlier at the Tribeca Film Festival for the showing of Down in the Valley, the 30 for 30 that Jason Hare directed, that never aired. But we were there for the debut. And so, and David had been on with me on the radio interviewing me. I'd say, David Stern knew who I was. It wasn't like he didn't know who I was.
Yeah.
But when I ran into him and he was at the breakfast buffet, and I'm like, David? And he looks at me for 2 seconds. He goes, Grant, what are you doing here? Like he probably thought I was spying on him. Or something.
Right.
Yeah, but it was pretty amazing. All right. Hey, don't forget, we will be on right after the game tonight over on YouTube and X. Jerry Reynolds, Ryan in Sacktown. We look forward to that. The Pelicans with a big lead of 48-33, 4.5 left in the second quarter. Have a great evening, everyone. Stay safe. For Rhino in Sacktown, Grant Napear, Thanks so much for listening to Fox Sports Sacramento. Bye-bye now. Hey, it's Grant Napear for Village Financial Group. I have known broker-owner Spencer Grimmenstein for 25 years, ever since he began his family-owned business. Whether it's a home equity line of credit or buying or selling a home, Spencer is a very creative financing specialist with access to private money. Check out Village Financial Group at bfgloans.com or call Spencer at 916-805-4868. Be sure and call for the investor special. And if you go to their website, bfgloans.com, you can find over 9,000 properties available for purchase. Folks, Spencer is awesome. Trust me. Again, I've known the guy since 2000. It makes sense to call Spence at 916-805-4868. Village Financial Group, looking out for your best interest. Call 916-805-4868.
Are you SAC Alert? Have you signed up to receive emergency alerts via phone, text, email, or app? Well, what are you waiting for? Winter is coming, and that means there is potential for storms and flooding in our county. Don't get caught off guard or left in the cold. Get urgent storm evacuation and shelter information immediately sent directly to your device. Sign up today at sacramento-alert.org. Again, that's sacramento-alert.org. It's free, quick, and easy to do, and can literally be a lifesaver.
Call the good dudes at Gabrudes, G-U-B-R-U-D-S.
Homeowners, if you have an electrical project you need done, then you need the good dudes at Gabrudes. Family owned and operated for 30 years, Jay Gabrude and his team are the area's recognized experts for everything electrical, from the very basic like repairs, lighting upgrades, and whole house fans, to the biggies, panel replacements, EV stations, and backup generators. Gabrudes does it all and does it right the first time. They're actually the guys their competition recommends. Gabrudes, expert, 5-star service, and always transparent, honest prices and solutions. Say goodbye to your electrical issues. Visit Gabrudes.com or call 24/7 and speak with a real live person. Gabrudes, G-U-B-R-U-D-S.
Call the good dudes at Gabrudes, G-U-B-R-U-D-S. Gabrudes.com.
If you need a new set of top brand tires, Downtown Ford Sacramento has great news for you. For a limited time, we'll beat any competitor's price on a new set of 4 tires. Then kick you down a mail-in rebate of up to $150. And that includes major brands like Pirelli, Bridgestone, Yokohama, and Goodyear. Some restrictions apply. Visit downtownfordsacramento.com for details. Downtown Ford Sacramento on Howe Avenue. Online at downtownfordsacramento.com.
Wouldn't it be great if life came with a remote control? You know, you could hit pause when you needed to, or hit rewind, like that time you knocked down that wasp's nest.
Uh-oh.
Or that time you forgot to roll up your windows in the car wash.
Fantastic.
Yeah, a remote control would have come in handy then. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes like managing your weight, getting active, stopping smoking, and eating healthier, you can stop prediabetes before it leads to type 2 diabetes. It's easy to learn your risk. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Life doesn't come with a remote control. Yikes! So you're on your own with the wasps. You have the power to take control of prediabetes. Visit doihaveprediabetes.org today. That's doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
The voice of Sacramento sports is back.
Hear Grant Napear every weekday beginning at 3 right here. KSAC 890 AM Olivehurst, K284CM 104.7 FM Sacramento. Grant's back. Grant Napear is back on the Sacramento airwaves right here. KSAC 890 AM Olivehurst, K284CM 104.7 FM Sacramento. Hello, Sacramento.
Sacktown.
And welcome.